Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Welcome to the show. Thursday evening, Karmelo Anthony files notice of appeal challenging his conviction. Okay. We're going to talk about that and some other things with regards to his 35-year sentence. Let me say in advance, if you're new to the show, this is the objective perspective. I do not support tribalism, nor am I a Democrat. I want to make that clear because, from time to time we get new viewers and they comment and they don't understand the meaning of objective. I like for people to call in and speak. There's many different types of people who have been respectful and contribute to my brand over the years, and I welcome that, okay? This is the objective perspective. Also tonight, I'm going to try and talk to some of you younger people as an older man because, I've learned, I've grown as society has advanced. I love to tell you my age. I want you to know I'm a man of knowledge, wisdom, and experience. Born in 1964. I want to try to offer what may or may not be some helpful tips. I don't know about solutions, but some helpful tips. Because I see a pattern of things that happen, especially being in the position that I'm in, media, having done radio in the past, and I'll probably do radio again. That's there for me if I want it, but that's another story. But today's generation, and I'm not just saying young black people, young Hispanic, Asian, and all Caucasian, all sorts of young people today. You have no shame. You've lost all sense of decency, and you have no parameters. Thus, the reason why some of the things that you're going through now, it's so shocking. And when you hear people say, yo, they racist. Yes. Why do you need confirmation to know and to understand the beauty of this country? This is a beautiful country. I am a capitalist, but it is a racist nation. Now, racism has never hindered me. It doesn't stop me. I think we're all racist. I've said that before. We're not all prejudiced. And I'm not going to go back into the history of racism, one concerned with one's own race, yada, yada, yada. But I grew up in the 70s, so I want to try and assist, if I can, some of the things that I learned growing up in the beautiful suburbs. Scotch Plains, New Jersey. I had to have an understanding of my surroundings and parameters. I want to talk about Karmelo Anthony's family when they moved from Louisiana to North Texas, 2021 to be precise. Give me a second, I forgot to print that out. Karmelo Anthony, what happened to him and what he is going through, I have no power to change anything, nor do most of you. Did he get a raw deal, in my opinion? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, one of my previous shows, to be fair, I said that Austin Metcalf fucked around and found out. I stand on that. He fucked around and he found out. But I also want to ask you tonight, did Karmelo Anthony's family make the mistake of their life by moving to North Texas? They initially settled in Irving before relocating to Frisco. Now, whether they moved for better job opportunity, education for the kids, I don't know how they got down there, but they moved to an area that was the population was more Caucasian than where they came from. Moving from urban areas into Caucasian areas, sometimes if you don't have an understanding of the different cultures and or languages, and most of all, parameters. It can be more trouble than you bargained for. Not saying you can't level up in life, or move into a nice area. I think they moved into a $900,000 home. They were renting at first. Yes? No? Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe the father said, hey, we got to get around a better area for the kids, and I can respect that. But I'm going to go back and try to teach some of you about having an understanding and parameters of where you are at. Some of you're like me. We grew up in the beautiful suburbs, and we, at a very early age, we did not try to fit in. That's cap. When people say, oh, you got to fit in with the white kids. No, you don't. I never tried to fit in. Nor was I a Oreo cookie or an Uncle Tom. No, I grew up, I had a proud black father. He would not let me go down that path. But I had an understanding of my surroundings. And I just don't think that Karmelo Anthony had a full understanding. I don't know if his parents spoke to him. I think he overreacted. I do. I think he overreacted. We'll talk about that more a little bit later, but I want to just let you know where we're going this evening, okay? Showrunner, Scary Movie 6 review. I watched it. I want to talk about it. Oh, my God. I respect the formula and the franchise. Correct me if I'm wrong. The first Scary Movie came out in 2000. The sequel came out in 2001, created by the Wayans brothers. They lost the rights to the franchise at some point, I think maybe 3, 4, and 5, and then they regained the rights, and here we are now with number 6. They are now back in the steering, with regards to this new movie. The reviews are horrible, but then again, the reviews have always been horrible, right? Thus far, in case you don't know, the film, which was made on a $30 million budget, has grossed $121 million. So there will be a Scary Movie 7, I assure you. All right, give me some time. I want to get some things lined up here so we can have that conversation. And again, I want to hear from people. This is an objective platform. Feel free to call in, but just please watch the language. Okay, let's start with this particular source with regards to the appeal that has been filed. Here we go.
Breaking moments ago, Texas teen Karmelo Anthony plans to appeal his murder conviction in the stabbing death of Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet last year when they were both 17 years old. The jury sentenced him to 35 years in prison. Metcalf's father, Jeff, giving an emotional victim impact statement during the sentencing hearing. Quote, "The public response sickens me, especially when a gag order doesn't allow me to defend my son. This was never about race or politics, but what you did was to choose to make it about both. We all bleed the same color. You are free to make choices all your life, but you are not free to not face consequences." Correspondent Brooke Taylor reporting live from McKinney, Texas with the latest. Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Martha. We just got word that Anthony's legal team has filed that notice of appeal, but just seconds ago, we wrapped up an interview with the district attorney and the lead prosecutor on the case. I could tell you they are extremely confident with the verdict here. There was no cameras in the courtroom, so it's our first time really hearing from them. Take a listen to what they told me their reaction was.
Just relief. Relief that 12 members of our community, the jurors, saw it the same way we did, that this was murder, plain and simple. And then they saw punishment like we saw it, that he needed a lengthy prison sentence.
I was relieved. I thought it would be murder, but until you hear it, of course, a jury can do whatever they want as long as they're following the law. So I was relieved for the family, mostly.
And the And the jury sentenced Karmelo Anthony to 35 years behind bars for fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during a high school track meet. Both the DA and lead prosecutor told me they were satisfied with this sentence, even though Anthony faced up to 99 years behind bars. They also said that they were prepared for Anthony to take the stand, and they hoped that he would. Now, I asked what they believed the strongest piece of evidence here was. They both pointed to the surveillance footage. Despite being grainy and shot across the field, they said it reinforced their argument that Anthony wasn't surrounded and this was a one-on-one confrontation despite the defense's self-defense claim. Now, the lead prosecutor told me the national spotlight, it definitely added pressure, but he said they had to tune out that noise, and some of that noise played out in the courtroom. Martha, he told me that race was certainly not a factor, and have people actually pay attention closely to this case and hear what the witnesses had to say, they would know that.
Brooke Taylor, thank you very much.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the.
Okay, video source number one. The appeal has been filed. There's information out there that's going around about the Anthony family is now penniless. And I did see that the, what is it, Give, Send, Go, which is similar to GoFundMe, that page was shut down with a little over $600,000. So is that true, or do you think that the family is now changing their position about how they want to be, seen by the public? They moved to another home after Karmelo was arrested and the trial was being set up, and people were kind of somewhat sort of bothered by the home that they moved into, gated community and so on and so forth. Okay. Thank you for your comments early, guys. There should be a goal at the top of the live chat if you would be so kind to hit the like button as well. All right. Okay. I want to play a video here with Austin Metcalf's father speaking so we can have context here. Some context. This came out 22 hours ago. Let's all listen in. Oh, and before we continue on, did you hear in the last video that I played, they said that it was a one-on-one. Karmelo was not surrounded, according to video footage. Just wanted to point that out.
As Anthony now begins paying the price for his conviction, Austin Metcalf's father tonight is talking only with our JD Miles about the price that his family is paying.
Because the lie is temporary, but the truth lasts forever.
Jeff Metcalf finally had a chance to read the words he's been writing in a notebook to address his son's killer.
You said people think that grief is sadness, but it's not. It's rage.
Oh.
Pure, unfiltered rage. You failed yourself. You failed your parents. You failed society. You don't belong in this community.
That's correct.
Metcalf's victim impact statement came at the end of Karmelo Anthony's murder trial. For months, the father of Austin Metcalf has been silenced by a gag order imposed by the judge. Now he's free to speak publicly and says he's also free of something else.
When I woke up this morning, it was a very different feeling. When I woke up, I felt like 1,000,000 pounds had been lifted off my shoulders. Because I used to wake up every morning with this anxiety, with this feeling of dread. And this morning was the first day I woke up with a feeling of peace, comfort, tranquility that I haven't experienced in 14 months. And I felt Austin.
Metcalf was in court every day of Anthony's trial. The 19-year-old now convicted murderer not only took his son Austin's life, he did it right in front of Austin's twin brother, Hunter.
What killed me was the body cam footage when I could hear Hunter screaming, oh God, my brother, my twin. as a parent, you always want to protect your kids. And to hear my son and the fear in his voice, and I'm not there to fix it.
What was it like sitting in that courtroom with Karmelo Anthony for 5 or 6 days?
Challenging is the first word that comes to my mind. And I'll even say this. I had a little bit of sorrow because I'm human. And that poor boy is fixing to experience a life that I would not wish upon anyone.
Metcalf says even today he's received death threats and has previously endured doxing of his personal information and multiple swatting calls to his house from people who he says have tried to villainize Austin and the family.
I would hope they take a look in the mirror. And if you have children, and if it was your child who was murdered, would you like people dragging his name through the mud, making memes, making jokes, and just really vile comments?
Where do you and the Metcalf family go from here?
Well, I mean, this is day one of a long healing process. Because honestly, it's been impossible to start healing until this trial was complete.
The trial may be over, but the racial polarization among Americans on display outside the Collin County Courthouse continues.
Look at the effect, not just the effect here between the Metcalf family and the Anthony family. Look what it did, one, to those kids they have to live with. Two, it took on this huge, wider, let's have a race war throughout the nation.
Metcalf insists that his son had no racist motives when he approached Anthony about leaving a track team tent.
This case was never about race.
There's going to be those people now that just, try to throw shade on the whole trial with the jury makeup and the speed of it and that sort of thing. I mean,
well, those are the same people that said he was jumped by 4 people. His phone was broken. You're going to spin whatever story to try to keep yourself afloat.
Metcalf believes Anthony should have received a life sentence. He says if Anthony is up for parole in 17 years, he will be there in some form to argue against it.
If I'm still alive, yes, I will be there in person. If not, I am going to make a video, if I'm passed on, that can be played.
There are no walls in Metcalf's home without photos or paintings of Austin and his twin. These images and a scholarship in his son's name are what remain for this father, who says he's ready to finally forgive, but not forget.
But people need to understand about forgiveness. Forgiveness was not for him. Forgiveness was for me, so I don't carry the rage, the hate, and that around. It will eat me up like cancer.
J.D. Miles, CBS News, Texas.
Okay, phone lines open. I see a couple of people in the queue. Please sit tight. I want to make sure that I say what I'm thinking before we open up the floodgates. If you are a parent, whether you're Black or Hispanic or Caucasian, and you are raising your kids in an area where you did not grow up, I think it is crucial that you talk to your kids. Oh, my God, did my mother and father talk to me? And that was a different time. That was the 70s when families ate dinner together. Dinner was almost like an interrogation. You could not escape the questions. What are you doing in school? Tell me about your homework. My mother was always in college getting her master's degree and other degrees. So my father allowed her to grill me. And I've told you before, you know this already. She always used to make me keep little books in my back pocket. I still do till this day. I have a little small copy of the Constitution of the United States of America. See that I carry in my vehicles, plural. Not to be a smart aleck, but to have an understanding of my surroundings. I just want to say that because talking to your children and getting them to understand, what they're going to be facing. It's crucial. You can't just let the internet raise them, okay? Let me bring in one call before we continue. Area code 415, good evening. Is that John Blaze?
John Blaze on the check-in.
Hey, man, good to hear from you.
Well, likewise. You know, there was a few that had my name in their mouth. I just wanted to provide some clarity in terms of what my particular argument is in this particular case with Karmelo Anthony. So I wanted to go ahead and clarify my position to those listeners who had my name in their mouth. And it really boils down to Karl Anthony appeal without question should focus on the intergenerational cultural trauma theory, which is the post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Right.
And on the contrary, this case has everything to do with race. Now, let me go ahead and bring to the not just the audience, but have the conversation with the moderator, since we both are familiar with Dr. George's book.
Yes.
Now, there are several, theoretical developments on articulating the concept of cultural trauma and how it relates to the healthy psychological functioning of Karmelo Anthony. There is the cultural trauma that is generally defined as the condition of a syndrome that occurs when a collective has been subject to an unbearable event or experience that undermines their sense of group identity, values, meaning of purpose in their cultural worldviews. You see what I'm saying? Now, there is documented cultural trauma literature that has focused on the experiences of indigenous people, the Holocaust, the genocide survivors, and the effects of enslavement on African Americans or post-slavery trauma. So I think I wanted to go ahead and clarify my argument and bring to those who have my name in their mouth with regard to my position on Karmelo Anthony.
Right.
And in fact, that if their legal team was smart, like we both have discussed with the moderator, a great defense would be the post-traumatic slave syndrome and how it had the traumatic effects of enslavement, where it was transferred to the success, the generations, as far as it's been transferred to the generation, has been put forward in multiple literature, and it should be argued. And the family has to understand that this has everything to do with race. You can continue to argue that the residual effects of slavery, maintaining the social and psychological impact of Karmelo, of the history of enslavement persisting across generations, and still affects Black Americans personally, which is Karmelo. That's why he felt he needed to protect himself. This has everything to do with race. So in that, contemporary Black Americans have inherited an extensive list of dysfunctional attitudes and habits and behaviors from the eras of slavery. You see what I'm saying? So this is consistent with the emerging field of what they call epigenetics, which is the purpose that affects the environment challenges faced by a parent may be displayed by the offspring, despite the children not encountering the same challenges as their grandmama.
If I can jump in, John Blaze. If I can jump in.
Yes, sir.
I agree with everything you're saying. And yes, this has everything to do with race. I'm not mad at Karmelo Anthony, nor am I mad at the deceased Austin Metcalf, but there clearly was some type of communication barrier there. And I don't know how old Karmelo Anthony was when he moved with his family from Louisiana to North Texas. If anybody knows, please educate me. I think he may have been in high school, not elementary school or middle school. And where he came from in Louisiana, maybe he did need a knife, to carry to school. I don't know, but he felt that he needed to protect himself. But at the same time, one of the beautiful things I learned at a very early age in the suburbs, my mother had to teach me about kids who are passive aggressive. And she taught me not to overreact. And I just wanted to say that because you and I are pretty much on the same page. But with regards to post-traumatic slave syndrome, I hope that becomes a plausible theory and people can utilize that within legal defense at some point. Please continue.
And that's facts. And I wanted to piggyback on what you just mentioned, Major Pause, at the fact that at the psychological level, reported that African Americans show significantly higher stress in a range of life domains, such as the acute life events, financial, relationship, life, or their particular job. These are predictive or depressive symptoms, or poor self-rated health, or functional physical limitations and chronic illness, to which we can go ahead and attribute that to his psychological well-being. That's why he pulled out that knife. Now, you look at the passive aggressiveness that you just mentioned, there's explanations for the comparatively poor physical and psychological and social health outcomes among African Americans that are complex and entail appreciation of all direct and indirect impacts, as far as when you look at the historical, economic, and societal factors on Black folks, such as Karmelo. As you already mentioned, he went into a community to which the population outnumbered him in terms of Black and white, right? Yep. So the two such factors have received significant focus in research and literature and social policy initiatives. This has been talked about. If they were smart, they will go ahead and bring up poverty and prejudice and include that in their appeal. You see what I'm saying?
Can I jump in, John Blaze?
All matters.
Oh my God. And most of my viewers and listeners have heard me say this before. For a decade of my life, from middle school, well, actually starting in elementary school, all throughout middle school, going into high school, the Holocaust was pounded into my head. So let's stop with this thing. I'm talking to the viewers and other people. Stop claiming that Black people have a victim mentality. No one has a bigger victim mentality than Jews. I had to say that. Please, go ahead.
That is facts.
Yeah.
No one has a biggest pacifier in their mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Is the small hat. You see what I'm saying?
Because Ashkenazis. I call them out.
Ashkenazi. Call them out.
Yeah.
Call them out. Because the biggest pacifier in the mouth is the Ashkenazi.
Yeah.
Because everything you want to go ahead and speak on it as far as the traumatic effects, they were the ones who brought up the Holocaust. They're the ones who actually came up with the argument of the successive generations that has been affected by the residual effects of the Holocaust. So why can't a nigga use it in the appeal? Why can't the nigga go ahead and bring up poverty and prejudice? You know, because the median household income of Black Americans is half that of white folks in America, and has so far, at least the past 35 years, the median wealth of Black families is $5,000 compared to the white families who's $113,000 a year. So Americans have to come to grips that there is a huge disparity when it comes to poverty and prejudice in this country, because if you look at the data and the fact that poverty and ill health are strongly correlated, you see what I'm saying? It is there is a fact, and there's no wonder the fact that African Americans suffer from the most relatively negative health outcomes. Many of these gaps
I'm suffering right now
between Black and white.
Traumatic slave
syndrome. Let me say it for you. You see what I'm saying? Because and I ain't gonna hold you up, because I know you got about 5,000 callers waiting on the line right now.
I'm good.
You see what I'm saying? Because we look at many of the gaps in social outcomes between Black and white Americans are largely explained by income-related socioeconomic indicators of poverty. The gaps in poverty and income also partially explain the comparatively low physical and psychological outcomes among Black folks. That's why he felt he needed to go ahead and pull out that knife, because when you hope that his legal team would make the rational call and bring in an academic study, a more empirical work, and apply that to him, it would actually go ahead and give a particular framework and a bit of an understanding why he felt to pull out that knife. But John Blaze ain't gonna hold you up. I just wanted to go ahead and explain my case to some of those folks who had. And I appreciate you for your academic study on this topic. Salute, big nigga.
Yes, sir. Thank you. John Blaze tapping in. Guys, thank you for your donation. I'm going to try to get most of them on the screen. Okay. In case you don't know, the Holocaust was screwed into my head at an early age. And I think I may have told you this before. We were being taught about Auschwitz at one point, the camps and so on and so forth. And the teacher I'm not going to say her name. She asked the class, what method did the Nazis use? Something with the gas chambers. A friend of mine, he was a friend, I'm not going to say his last name. He said, I think we were maybe in 5th grade. He said, the OB method. She said, get the fuck out. The OB method. What was that? The OB method. Something with tampons back in those days. They had commercials on TV. In case you didn't catch it, she was asking the class, what method did the Nazis use? Something with the gas chambers. And he said loud, the OB method. She said, get the fuck out. Anyway, Marty, I got your donation. Thank you very much. Blake, what's going on? Okay, I'm going to get to that shortly. Crown, peace, Crown, are you calling in? Oh, okay. Crown says, F the white supremacist Metcalf family. Well, I got to keep it real. My father was racist. Anybody got family from the South? Let me look in the live chat. I'm sure you do. I may have asked you this before. My father was racist. And go figure, my white mama in the house. But, whenever, if a person knocked on the door and we're sitting there watching a baseball game or something like that, my father would always go to speak to white people on the porch. Never let him in the house. Anybody have kinfolk like that? I don't have to repeat the things that he said, but my father's racist. I just want to point that out. Alex, I got your donation. Thank you, Alex. All right. Let's get back to the phone lines here. Area code 912. Good evening. Please watch the language. We're talking about Karmelo Anthony having filed a notice of appeal. Are you up to speed? 912.
Yes, sir.
Hey, good evening. How are you, sir?
Hey, Star, man. I'm a long time listener, right? And I feel like I can kind of like speak on this situation from experience.
Come on.
I'm down south, 56 years old. I'm on 2 versus the jury, right?
Okay.
I heard one of the listeners yesterday was talking about when there are a lot of blacks at the jury trial. You just spoke about today that the family stayed in a $900,000 house. When you go to a jury trial, it's going to be consisted of people that you stay around. They're gonna get a list. Your attorney,
a jury of your peers.
Yeah, jury of your peers. Yeah, there you go. Jury of your peers, right? So that kind of gives a little, that's why the jury was comprised as it was, right? Okay. But me personally, I feel like both of the teenagers got what they deserve. The reason I'm saying that is because the white guy Metcalf, right? It's a tragedy, with his family and everything. But at the same time, what I'm saying is just you can't put your hands on nobody, man. That goes against the rules that it's an unwritten rule across the United States. You can get killed for simply looking at somebody the wrong way, black or white. I don't care what your skin color is. You can't put your hands on nobody, right? So not only did you put your hands on him, you gave him time to reach into his pockets. So you not only broke a rule, but you wasn't totally committed to what you was trying to stand on. And father, the young brother, Eric father, the young brother, he brother, you did what you did. I'm not saying that you did it intentionally. I feel like it should need to be involuntary because I like you said, I felt like he was kind of like nervous or scared. So in a situation like that, it's involuntary. He didn't mean to do that.
Are you a father, sir? You a father?
Yes, I am. I'm a father. Yeah, okay. I'm a father.
We can discuss this all day, back and forth, and I welcome the calls. Let me just say that. But I think it's just so vital. It's so crucial to talk to your kids, not just at a time when I grew up, but in today's world, because, you're going to face things. And sometimes that boy or girl has to understand you're not going to win every battle.
Absolutely.
You're not going to win every battle. Sometimes you got to haul ass. You got to haul ass. Live to fight another day. It's a tragedy. Absolutely. No ifs, ands, or buts. But as a father, I don't know how old your kids are. Can I ask you to speak to younger people who are listening and watching, whether they be black and or white, Asian, whatever? Can you speak to them as a father? What would you say in a situation like that, please?
In a situation like that, irregardless, like you said, whatever your color is, if you was told to leave, right? Just swallow your pride and leave, and don't put yourself in that situation. Don't put yourself in that situation where you would got to do something.
Yeah,
that's what I would tell them. Don't put yourself in that situation.
I appreciate the call. Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Great call. Good to hear fathers say that. I did say I believe that Karmelo Anthony overreacted, and I stand on that. Growing up in the inner cities, whether it be the projects or the hood, yes, those are pressure cooker situations. We used to call the projects tall cages back in the days. It's a pressure cooker for the most part. And growing up in the suburbs, respectfully, you had to be smarter because you're intertwined with white people on a daily basis. You know they're trying to do you dirty and get you up out of there. You know they are. Living in the projects or the tall cages, more than likely, you got to square up, 2, maybe 3 times a week. You're fighting off the other wolves. But in the suburbs, you got to have an understanding that they are trying to get you up out of here. And now they're so bold to say they want you for that sweat equity. Let me take another call before I get back to the videos. Area code 857, good evening. Please watch the language. Karmelo Anthony has filed an appeal. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there, Star.
Hey, good evening, sir.
Speaking from experience, I lived in the city and then moved out to the suburbs.
Okay.
You're ducking the city violence, but you're still catching the hell in the suburbs with the racism. There's no reprieve. So psychologically,
sir, your phone's a little muffled. Can you make the adjustment so we can hear you? Say again.
Yes. Can you hear me now, sir?
That's better. Yes, sir. Go ahead. You were saying?
So you're living in a city ducking violence, and then you go move to the suburbs only to be faced with racism. There's never a reprieve at any given time. I lived that lifestyle where I lived in the city and moved out to the suburbs.
Okay.
I caught hell in both places. And when you're going through that stuff, it psychologically wears on you.
Yeah.
You can't, everybody has a different way of reacting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying one's good, one's bad, but when someone's under that pressure, and a lot of these young folks, they didn't have the tutelage that I had with my elders. And when I heard the stories with my elders, it only enraged me. We was only 2 black people in the school. We got it shaken. We had to fight these white boys every day, all day. And at one given point, we had a Puerto Rican that was with us, and he had a group up with us. He took a bat and bashed one of the white boys, and he ended up getting sent to DYS, get committed till he was 18. But I understood his rage.
But can you also admit that you took some L's? Can you admit that?
You have no choice. You got no numbers.
Okay.
It's mob mentality. But I tell you one thing, when I have sons that's living in those areas right now, I told my son, I said, listen, be careful. But when you see him by himself, you get it shaken. You clean him up real good and send him on his way. But when they're in there and they got eyes on you, you got to be careful on how you move.
Okay.
But if it's just you and him, you whip him, and you whip him good.
Okay.
Because I can't tell my son to bend the knee and put his head down when we done seen so many of our elders do so. Sometimes you have to fight back. I didn't say kill.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't fight back, if I can just jump in. And how old were you when you moved from the city into the suburbs?
I was 8. I was about 8, 9.
Okay. You're a suburban nigga. You're from the suburbs. And your kids have been raised in similar fashion to you, but more so born into a generation that did not, have any of the trials and tribulations that you had. Is that fair to say?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I recognize the community. I recognize the community I came from, and it was totally different.
Okay.
I got a wake up call when I got introduced to the suburbs. A real wake up call.
Okay. That nigga wake up call can be a beautiful thing, though. Can we agree on that? It's a beautiful thing.
But also traumatizing. At 8 years old, I had a principal who told me you should talk to the black girl because she's more like you.
So I had white boys trying to run me over with a car walking home from Junior Raiders football practice. Literally, I had to run up on somebody's driveway, and then I would see them the next day in school. They're laughing. Hey, Terrain, we almost got you. Do you think I was going to say, yo, I'm going to kill you? I'd just say, maybe next time.
Star, you know how I got him?
Maybe next time.
Star, you know how I got him back? All the white girls loved us.
Yeah.
And we slept with all those white girls.
Sir, you didn't always get them back. Please, stop. You didn't always get them back.
Yeah.
Come on, stop it. You didn't always
I said, I didn't say I got them all back. I said, you know how I got them back?
Okay.
I slept with the white girls.
But you took L's. That's all I'm trying to
Everybody
say.
takes an L.
We take
We're
L's.
human beings, don't take L's.
Okay.
If you live,
I didn't mean to cut you short, but as a father, can I ask you to speak to the generations now watching and listening? What would you say to maybe help them prevent a situation that Karmelo Anthony went through? Speak to the younger generation, please.
Hopefully the fathers in their life, and if their fathers in their life, tell them how to read the room. You got to read the room.
Okay.
You got to put everything what you're going to lose, what could possibly happen, what all the outcomes can happen. You have to read the room.
Okay.
I'm constantly talking to my sons every week. I'm talking to my sons about what's going on in school. I had one of those school shooters put me off. And then when I pulled up to his father, they had nothing to say. And I said, those are cowards. You got to be careful. They'll try to bait you in and then play victim.
Yeah.
But that's part of white supremacy. That's what they do.
Sir, white supremacy has been around in this country from day one, but don't let that stop you from, manifesting. Thank you for your call. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Guys, sit tight. I'm coming to the phones. Thank you for your comment on the screen. Let me see if I can read that one. Metcalf was a jerk, and Karmelo let his ego get the best of him. He wasn't scared. He was mad that Metcalf was trying to tell him what to do. I agree. I've said that from day one. Metcalf probably said to him what, white kids say to black kids and other kids, You don't belong here. What are you doing over here? What are you doing over here? Fighting back does not always mean fighting back physically or by way of aggression. Thank you for your comment. Great one, 765. Thank you for your comment. It's on the screen. Mr. Terrain was a real one. He loved Star's mom. Oh, yes. But if ever a race whore was going to take her out, what these white kids, I can't understand that. No, he meant business. Race whore was going to take her. Okay. I think I understand you. I appreciate your donation. Guys, please sit tight in the queue. Blade, I got your donation. Thank you very much. Where are my notes? I'm not going to play a video for the Scary Movie 6, but I do want to say this for those who did see it. Again, I respect the franchise. Salute to the Wayans brothers. They regained the rights to it. The budget was $30 million. It's already grossed $121 million. So there will be a Scary Movie 7. I don't have a lot to say about the actual content because truthfully, I didn't laugh. It's not my type of humor, and that's not to be mean-spirited. Hell, I'm so old, I remember seeing Up in Smoke in movie theaters. Anybody ever heard of Up in Smoke, Cheech and Chong? So I know those types of films, Cheech and Chong, Wayne's World. Remember Wayne's World? Half-Baked. All that goofy shit, I respect it, but it's not my type of movie to see. I'm into science fiction. You know this already. But I would recommend, if you know the first two films, or if you just like the franchise, go see it. I watched it on the free movie website. There's a part in there where Kai Cenat, he gets his head cut off. Shaquille O'Neal is in the film toward the end. Who else? Let's do a spoiler. Who else is in the film toward the end? Shaquille O'Neal, somebody else. I watched the entire goddamn film. Yeah, I get it. I respect it. I just thought some of it was just like stupid. But that's what worked. Oh, let me also say this. If you think it's trash, okay, it could be trash to you. It could be trash. However, do you think that when you saw the first film in the year 2000, you were in a place mentally where you could appreciate trash? It's on brand. I think that's what I'm trying to say here. It's on brand. The same stuff. And even though Marlon Wayans and Sean Wayans, they're older now, it's on brand. Is that yes, no, maybe? I'm trying not to just hate just to hate this. I am the objective hater, but I think you should go see it. I think you should be prepared for just complete and utter foolishness. They're clowning Michael Jackson, they're clowning Jermaine Jackson, and it's there if you want to see it. Okay, let me go to the phone lines here. Area code 304. Please watch the language. Karmelo Anthony has filed a notice of appeal. What say you? 304.
You got to file an appeal within 30 days in the small courts, but it's probably going to get denied because he's going back to the same.
So we have an echo. Can you make the adjustment so we can hear you? There's an echo in the background, please.
Hold on.
Give me a second. Turn something down in the background.
Yeah, it's probably. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. You were saying?
Can you hear me now?
It's a little better. Go ahead. A little better.
Okay. Yeah, they're going to deny it anyway because that goes back to the small court, and then he got to go farther, like Superior, whatever, Supreme or whatever. He got to go farther. He might be in jail for almost 5-6 years before he even gets to.
Does he deserve to be in jail, sir? Someone died.
No, he deserves. Yeah, he deserves to get something out of it, but not that much time. But I don't know the law about self-defense because I live in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And Pennsylvania ain't no such thing as so. It is, but not if you're black. So
we've got that noise in the background. I have to drop you a call, but thank you. Thank you for tapping in. I'm a patient man, but I can't let you kill the vibe. Area code 272. Good evening. We're talking about the scary movie 6, or Karmelo Anthony has filed a notice of appeal. Are you there? 272.
Yeah, what's going on, Star?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you, man. It's your man Qua.
Voila. How are you, man? How are you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. We're gonna have a real talk. His own friend sold him to the jury. It was his friend, Eddie. If people don't pay attention, Eddie was sitting next to Karmelo. If Eddie was the one who could have really won the case for Karmelo, but he didn't. He turned on him. If anybody paid attention to that trial, Eddie said, hey, the shell wasn't even that hard, right? He said, because I didn't even feel him when he got pushed back. Number two, he said, I didn't think it was even worth him poking him like that and stuff like that. I don't agree. It was self-defense. So it was his friend that sold him. And the lawyer hurt the case even more because this is a direct person that's next to him that knows what was said and what happened. Because if anybody paid attention, they said it. Eddie was the one that Karmelo knew. Eddie was Carmelo's girlfriend, so-called friend, right?
Let me jump in, Kuala, because many people paid attention. Please don't do that. Like, if you pay, people paid attention as much as we could. We were not allowed to see inside the courtroom. Was Eddie, Carmelo's friend or just an associate? Everybody's not going to... Hold on. There's a difference between being a friend and an associate. And based upon what you're saying, was Eddie supposed to tell a different story? And would that story have been a lie? He swore under oath. Hang on. He said what he said. So now are you saying Eddie lied? What are you saying?
So if
sir, it's a straight question, please. Did Eddie lie?
Eddie lied. I think Eddie lied.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think he lied.
Okay, he lied. He lied to do Karmelo dirty. To do him dirty.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And here's how it started.
No. I can't go all the way back. We know that. We've been paying attention. We've been talking about it. Are you a father? Kuala, are you a father?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Please speak to the younger generation watching right now. We can't save Karmelo.
I would say
killed. Speak to the younger generation from the perspective of a father. What should a young person do in a situation like that? Whether they were Austin or Karmelo, what should they do?
I feel like if you're in a situation like that, it's easy for you to walk away and live for the next day. Then you putting yourself in a situation. But I understand too, as a father, as a man, as a human being, that sometimes you have to defend yourself, right? Because we live in a society in the world now where everybody has tapes, everybody has phones, everybody has cameras and stuff like that, right? So when you in a state of high school, right? We talking about high school kids, they're high school kids, right? The last thing you want somebody to do is video you. You out walking around the school, people calling you a punk, calling you out your name, this and that, right? So that's a lot of things that's going through a person's mind. And for me, I think he was a person that never been in trouble or probably never had a situation where he knew how to react to it, right? I think this probably was the first time he ever had somebody really approach him that was aggressive, because you could just tell when you hear things, and some things can be lies, some things can be true, but when you hear a person that's a 3.7 student in school, right, working 2 jobs, captain of the team, you're not hearing anything about him being a bad person. You're not hearing nothing of criminal or nothing about him, right? So at that split second, you like, how did you go from this person to this person? And that's what makes me feel like, okay, I could sympathize saying he never been in a situation where he knew how to react. Because some people know how to react. You got some people that's going to get up and talk slick to you and ready to fight, right? You got some people that's going to walk away. I think that boy was scared. I think he was scared, and he did what he did. Do I think he did it intentionally? No. Do I think he did it on purpose? No. I think he tried to scare him, and by him trying to scare him and he stuck him, that's what happened and stuff like that.
Before you go, Kuala, and I appreciate you as a father saying what you've said. As a father, did Austin Metcalf, well, we know what Austin, where he's at, respectfully. Did Karmelo Anthony do the right thing? The right thing.
Ooh, do the right thing. I would say, and for me, I would say yes. Because at the end of the day, here's why.
That's really sad. No. I got to take other calls. That's sad that you as a father would say that.
Because here's why, Star. Here's why, right?
I'll give you 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
I would rather my child be able to live for the next day than seeing my child being in a situation. Because if you reverse it, what happens if that's your child now? What happens if that push or that shove that could have did your child dirty? So you got to look at it. Sometimes you have to defend yourself. Yeah, it's easy for anybody to walk away. We can all agree to that, right? We all can teach our child to walk away from something. Don't be controversial and stuff like that, right? But who to say a person that can shove your child and your child hit their head and this and that? Okay. Now we worrying about, oh, I should have taught my child better. I should have taught my child to defend themselves. Because a lot of parents nowadays.
Well, I got to take other calls. I gave you 20 seconds. Thank you, man.
Right.
No, I don't believe Karmelo Anthony did the right thing. I really don't. And if you're a parent, I really would like to hear from you from a rational standpoint. You know, feelings get involved. I've made some crazy decisions, and I'm still here. We have all taken L's in those streets, in different situations. Sometimes, you know, you realize after a situation dissolves, it could have gotten really crazy. And again, I'm not trying to dump on the parents because they are dealing with the loss that I do not know. You know, whether that be the Metcalf parents or the Anthony parents. But I do believe you got to talk to them. Hey, anybody care about what's going on up in New York City? Any Puerto Ricans in the live chat? What's going on with the mayor, Mamdani? What's going on with the goddamn? He tried to get rid of the parade or something, or not the parade, some type of celebration at Gracie Mansion. I do want to talk about that a little bit later. Before I take another call, I want to play something, some audio, and I think this is a good piece of audio to play. Let me see if you guys know who this person is. She does the most on social media. I think her tour is over, but yes, I agree that you have to teach your child something. And I think, again, this is a teachable moment. You don't have to like her, but listen to what she says.
I sure learned something from this. I learned to tell my sons, if a white boy, do not argue with no white boys. Because, baby, ain't no law protecting you if something goes down with them. That's what I learned from this case. I'm going to tell my sons, if you argue with a white boy, walk the fuck away. Because the law don't protect you.
Cardi B, one more time.
I sure learned something from this. I learned to tell my sons, if a white boy, do not argue with no white boys. Because, baby, ain't no law protecting you if something goes down with them. That's what I learned from this case. I'm going to tell my sons, if you argue with a white boy, walk the fuck away. Because the law don't protect you.
Was that really Cardi B or was that AI? Let's get back to the phone lines here. Area code 346. Good evening. Please watch the language.
Good evening, Star.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Yes, I wanted to comment tonight on the Karmelo Anthony verdict. Okay. I live in Texas. I live in Houston.
Okay.
That, you know, I just think that he shouldn't have stabbed the guy. You know, being from New York, born and raised, it was always shoot the fair one. You go to school, you get into stuff with people, you know, you have to fight. We wasn't pulling out knives and fighting. We wasn't doing that. We was just, it was, give me my 30 seconds. You know, Star, I don't know if you're familiar with the 30-second thing, but people from the Bronx.
I'm from New Jersey, and we used to go out into the
park. Give me my 30 seconds.
I'm from New Jersey. We used to go out into the parking lot or the field, and it wasn't no 30 seconds. It was until somebody got pummeled or they got done. But go ahead. It was longer in Jersey. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, I mean, I get what they're saying. It's like, well, if he was white, you know, he probably wouldn't have got that time. There are some cases that happen in Texas, similar, stabbing school teenagers, and they didn't get that time, you know. I don't think he's going to be able to appeal it because this is Texas. You're not going to be able to appeal that. I think that his lawyers were inept. They really didn't know.
Well, they have filed an appeal.
Wasn't any.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. They have submitted a notice for appeal. But hold on a second. How old were you when you moved to Texas?
I was 26.
Okay.
I'm 39 now.
Are you a mother?
I am not a mother.
Okay. It's different. You know, all states are different, but in Texas, you know, there are certain rules, regulations, and things that, you know, don't even have to be said. Do you think, you say you're not a mother, but do you think that maybe somehow, somewhere, Karmelo was failed by his parents? When you move from a predominantly black area, such as Louisiana, which is where they came from, and you move into a predominantly white area, you know, don't you think you have to talk to your kids and try to just, it's not just that we're living in a better area. You're around white kids now. It really, in my opinion, is more dangerous. What do you think about that?
Oh, 1,000%. But I don't think that his parents sat him down, you know. You got to have these talks with your kids. You got to let them know how we navigate as Black people in America is not the same as anyone else. And I don't think they really drilled that home to that kid. It's unfortunate that he's going to spend 35 years of his life behind bars. It's terrible.
I don't know if he's going to make it to 10 years because supposedly the warden, someone correct me if I'm wrong, the warden of the prison where he is now at is related to the Metcalf family. Yes, no, troll babies, or is that fake news? Go ahead, back to you.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, back to you. You were saying.
And then there's something going on with they saying that the prosecuting judge and the attorney, they knew each other. I mean, I'm not sure why that wasn't on the record. It's just it was just they dropped the ball and they Peter rolled him. You know, and I don't think an appeal is going to help him.
Did his parents fail him? Well, let's have that real conversation. Did his parents fail him?
I mean, based on what I saw, I mean, the mother she looked distraught and everything like that, but there was no empathy, there was no remorse. You know, it's just, well, my son is going to do 35 years and I'm going to fight justice, but you didn't feel that empathy, you didn't feel that emotion, you don't feel that remorse for that kid that lost his life. I do believe his family did fail him.
Okay. I'm listening.
You know, so I mean, I think that's all I really had to say is we gotta.
Well, hang on a second.
In particular, Black people.
Stay with me. You're from New York. You said New York.
Yes, I'm from Brooklyn. Yeah.
Okay. What made you move to Texas? From me asking.
Well, it was time to turn a new leaf in my life. I just I felt stagnant in New York.
But why Texas?
Wanted to move.
Why Texas?
Mainly because of the atmosphere, the remote opportunities. I was able to find remote work here.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I left.
Okay. Because most people don't move from New York to Texas. Texas don't play with Black folk. I'm sorry, unless you're born and raised there and you have an understanding, as I said, with regards to my growing up and the parameters. Sometimes you pick up things fast, but moving from New York to Texas, okay, that was due to work and better opportunities for you.
Right. Okay. To improve my life.
Okay. Are you going to have children, respectfully? Not that you have to, I'm just asking. Are you going to raise them in Texas?
No, I come from a large family, you know. Okay. My mother had 9 children.
Okay.
So I'm not interested in having children.
Okay. Scary Movie 6, did you see it? Do you plan to?
No, I don't think I'm going to watch that. It's not really my forte.
Oh, come on. You saw the first one. You thought it was funny. You laughed. You from New York. Come on. You saw the first one. Stop it.
I mean, that was years ago, though. You know, all this new stuff they coming out with. They got to redo this, make a new rendition and all of that. It's like, nah, I'm good. I'm not interested in that.
Okay. I appreciate the call. Have a great night.
But what I was going to say is, you know, we have to remember to remind our boys to check their logic, keep their emotions in check. It's going to be logic over emotion every single time. You know, you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know that, Star.
But you're not a mom. How would you know, respectfully?
Yeah, but I'm an aunt. And I'm a sister.
Okay. I appreciate
And
the call.
I have emotions and I have feelings. And what happened was unfortunate.
Okay.
Both families are in tragic situations, but we got to check our boys. We got to do it.
Gotcha. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay. All right. Guys, hold on a second. Karmelo Anthony. Sweat equity, yes? Damn, I have to ask this question. Did the family make the mistake of their lives moving from Louisiana to Frisco? First it was Irving, Texas, then it was Frisco. Lord have mercy. Guys, sit tight in the queue. Here's something I want to play because, you know, information is key. Is this woman speaking facts?
Sick of them saying this is an all-white jury on the Karmelo Anthony trial. It's not, folks. There's 8 whites, 1 Mexican-American, 3 Asian-Americans, and 1 Muslim-American. They're not white. So quit saying that because it's a very versatile jury. Take it or leave it. It is what it is. And the reason that they got rid of the 3 blacks is because they were school teachers and they didn't want anybody associated with school on the jury. I said what I said, and I don't give a shit if you don't like it or not. But quit lying when the numbers are right there for you to read, except you're too goddamn lazy to go look.
One more time. Pay attention.
I am so sick of them saying this is an all-white jury on the Karmelo Anthony trial. It's not, folks. There's 8 whites, 1 Mexican-American, 3 Asian-Americans, and 1 Muslim-American. They're not white. So quit saying that because it's a very versatile jury. Take it or leave it. It is what it is. And the reason that they got rid of the 3 blacks is because they were school teachers and they didn't want anybody associated with school on the jury. I said what I said, and I don't give a shit if you don't like it or not. But quit lying when the numbers are right there for you to read, except you're too goddamn lazy to go look.
What's an old Karen? Sheesh, that's an old Karen, huh? Oh, let's see who this is here. White boy Rory was tapping in Thursday night. Are you there? Rory, where's Rory? Yes, no, maybe. Rory, pick it up or I gotta go. Okay, let me bring somebody else in.
Yo,
what's going on?
Yo, Stuff.
What's up, man? It's cracking.
Yo, that game was, what's up, man? Yo, that game was historic last night. Oh, check.
We'll get back to the Knicks.
We'll
get back to the Knicks. We're talking about Karmelo Anthony filed the appeal or Scary Movie 6. We'll get back to the Knicks. Unless you want to talk about Belfast burning people out of their goddamn homes, huh? People running down in Ireland.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
Yo, I will talk about the Karmelo. I want to talk about the Karmelo.
Come on.
I'm so proud of his father. I salute to Jeff Metcalf. I'm so proud of that man. He didn't pander. He didn't bow down. He kept it 100. He told his real feelings, how he really feels, how trashy and you know, nasty that Anthony family is, how ghetto they are, how racist they are, how Karmelo got everything he deserves, going forward, how he's going to fight for justice for his son. And, listen, the appeal, he could get the appeal. That's fine. That's his right. They'll probably grant him an appeal. Will he win the appeal? Oh, I don't think so. I mean, the burden of proof is on him now during the appeal. It's not on the court. The burden of proof is on him and whoever he hires to prove that the jury got it wrong. There's no new evidence. There's no evidence supporting any claim that he got jumped, that he got punched. No evidence whatsoever. No eyewitness testimony. Karmelo Anthony didn't say he got jumped or punched. His lawyer never said he got jumped or punched. And his own defense witnesses said he was the aggressor. He was the troublemaker.
Well, hang on a sec. Hold on a second now, because 2 out of the 3 witnesses that the defense called on Monday didn't see anything, and they admitted they didn't see anything. So slow it down. Now, let me ask you, as a father, you're a father. Can I ask you to speak to younger people, regardless of what color or lack thereof they are, with regards to a situation like that? Speak to the younger generation. Come on, it's a father, Rory.
I would say it's like, I don't want to sound ignorant, but there's when you carry a weapon, you use it if you think your lights are going out or your life is in jeopardy, right? Because if you use it any other way, in almost every state in this country, you're going to prison, either for a long time or maybe a short time, but you're definitely going to prison. I've seen it my whole life. People who are well within the right to use a weapon have gone to prison. I know guys and women who have been beaten.
So you would tell your child, regardless of whether it was,
do not pull out that weapon unless you're going to use it. And if you're going to use it, just know you're going to go to jail. You're going to have to stand on that. The only way I've ever seen people get away with self-defense is if somebody comes into their home. And I've seen those cases where it's like, oh, they got off scot-free. But in the street, I'm telling you, everybody I know who have defended themselves from a robbery with a weapon have ended up going to jail. Whether it's 6 months, some guys do 2 years. Carmelo Anthony got the 35 years because he was 100% wrong in what he did. And there's no excuses for what he did whatsoever. That's why
Let me jump in here for a second, because I did say I think Carmelo Anthony's parents failed him. I also think that Austin Metcalf's father failed him. What do you say about
you
that?
Think so?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you're not the.
I don't know.
Hold on a second, wife. Will I let you speak? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
You're not the figure of white moral authority. You shouldn't have went over there, regardless of whether he belonged there or not. It's not your job. See, white people. Hold on, white boy. White people have this thing where they like to tell black people, you don't belong here. What are you doing here? You are not law enforcement. You're a high school student. Oh, yeah, he failed his son. Go ahead. Failed him.
Well, I mean, the team was mixed with black and white players.
Doesn't matter.
That's one. Two,
mind your business. It doesn't matter.
Carmelo Anthony walked over to him. Carmelo Anthony walked over to him, to his tent. He didn't walk over to Carmelo Anthony. That's two. Three, Charlie, you were in high school. If you were with your team, your football team, in the bleachers, and somebody from somewhere else came over, and you guys started telling him, hey, man, what are you doing here? You got to leave. You got to go. After 2 or 3 times of him saying, I ain't going nowhere. No. Your school, your team is going to be like, no.
Rory, as a friend, I need you to slow down. I want your A game. I tell you that from time to time. Slow down. I want to hear you speak rationally. Don't just talk fast. His father failed him. Hold on. His father failed him. You don't have to be the again, always trying to poke your nose in something. White people have an issue with that, Rory. Can you agree? Can we agree on that? They created loitering laws against black people because they didn't like black people getting together across America and just having discussions. Loitering laws were created for the most part to stop black people from congregating, whether they were at a public event or not. Nosy.
Yes.
It wasn't. It wasn't Austin's goddamn tent. Come on.
I'm going to say this, that the biggest, white people's biggest problem is they don't mind their business. My family says this all the time.
Bingo.
When we watch white people getting mollywopped or getting, put in their place or whatever, me and my family always say to it, whether it's me and my brother, me and my mother, me and my father, we always say to each other, then why didn't they just mind their business? Yeah. That's not their business. Yeah. So I will say white people's biggest problem is they don't mind their business. But with this incident, the coach had put him in charge of the tent. I think that makes a difference right there. The kid probably felt,
Whoa.
I've been left.
Whoa. I never heard that. Let me look. Troll babies. Austin Metcalf was in control of the tent. Where'd you get that from, Rory? Where'd you get that from?
His black coach left him in control of the tent. He had left. They said, where were you, to the coach, when all of this went down? How come you weren't there? And he said, I had went to go get a pressure cooker from. No, I'm telling you, this what I'm saying is what was in the trial. I had went to go get a pressure cooker from the parking lot, and I left Austin.
Rory, I fuck with you heavy, but they're in the live chat saying that crack is lying. Get him out of here. I never.
But you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is facts. What they call in and say is all crazy stuff. He was jumped. He was called racial slurs. He was this. None of that ever happened. None of the stuff that they call it with. None of it happened. You know.
All right.
They look like Charleston White in the live chat. They look like a fool with one eye.
Stop it. We don't take shots at other content creators. You know I don't do that. Okay.
Metcalf's father wants all the smoke. Any watermelon felon that want to bring it to him, he said he's down there. He's ready for all the smoke.
All right.
You know,
all right.
That's what he said. You know.
Hey, before you go, you and I have been talking and texting behind the scenes here. Belfast, North Belfast in Ireland. Whoa, burning immigrants out of their homes, huh?
Yes.
What's going on? Please give us an update.
Well, okay, so the migration in Ireland is out of control. It's a country the size of, we'll say, New Jersey.
Right.
It only has about 4.5-5 million people. The rate now is that for every 4 Irish people, there's 1 foreign-born person. So it's too much. It's just way too much. And the government and the EU are bringing these people in. The people that live there don't want them. They don't want Islam in Ireland. They don't want to live around Africans. They want to preserve their culture and their country, a very small country. They have every right to do so. And so these people are not welcomed by the people that live there. They have been warned. They've been warned for over about 1.5 years, 2 years that they're not welcome there. They don't want them there. Now, in that time, they've been committing crimes, a lot of horrible crimes, and they're supposedly refugees begging for help. But then they're committing crimes against the population that accepted them in.
Okay.
And the Irish only have a tolerance so far. They know what it's like to have civil unrest and civil war.
Yeah.
So they're not worried about it. They're not scared.
You got cousins in the IRA, but now hold on a second.
Right. Not something that they would walk away from.
Hold on. For those who don't know, the latest incident was a Sudanese guy stabbing somebody in the goddamn neck. The video is out there. You and I were talking about it a couple days ago. Stabbing the guy in the neck.
Him.
Yeah. Is he still alive or is he out of here? The guy who was getting stabbed by the Sudanese in the goddamn street.
No, the victim is still alive, but he lost both eyes.
Oh, my goodness.
His ability to speak.
Oh, wow.
And he tried to decapitate him, and he was screaming Allah Akbar while he was doing it.
Sheesh.
And so, that's, I think if people are fed up. Even burning them out, burning them out is a warning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like telling them to leave, because the next step after that, there's no more warnings.
Okay.
And there's going to be no apologies. You were warned. You were well warned. So these people are uninvited guests in somebody else's home, and now they're rearranging the furniture.
Okay.
Now you got to go.
I appreciate you, man. I got to take other calls. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right, Star.
Salute. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Salute to Jeff Metcalf, a real white boy.
Okay, salute. Okay. All right. Area code 718. Good evening. Are you there? 718. Please watch the language.
Hey, Star. Good evening. Detroit Ziggy.
Detroit Ziggy. How are you, man? What's going on with you?
Hey, I'm well, Star. I'm doing well. Thank you. Great program.
Thank you, man.
Unfortunately, Star, it's about race again. White, versus black. And
it's all race.
It really is.
Detroit Ziggy.
Always race,
it's all
Star.
race. It's all race in America. It's all race. It is.
Well, you know why? Because we let it, Star. We let it be. You know, if it's not white or black, it's not going to turn green.
Yeah.
Right? You can't capitalize on it. If it was, you know, if Karmelo stabbed a Chinaman, you know, a Mexican down there in Texas, I don't think it would have got the same play. Would you agree?
I don't do hypotheticals, Detroit Ziggy, but I am going to deal with the trending story and what we have. Now, whether you think it is or isn't about race, that's totally up to you. I have gone hold on. I have gone on record and said I think Karmelo Anthony's family failed him. They did not educate him. When you move from Louisiana, which the area that they were in, I don't have my notes in front of me, predominantly black, to a area predominantly Caucasian, you have to talk and educate your children. You've said, correct me if I'm wrong, you grew up around mainly black people, yes?
Correct.
Okay. So whether we are trying to push the race card or not, this beautiful country of ours, America, I love it. I love it. We have to, until we can flush things out thoroughly, we have to deal with what we have. People are screaming racism. I'm going to play a video with Karmelo Anthony's, I think it's his grandmother. She's screaming racism. Continue.
Well, Star, I believe that if you're a victim, it's a different story, like a circumstance in the situation today. Okay. If you're a family member, like you said, and it was your child, then yes, you have a right to speak, and people need to hear your situation. But what's happening is, Star, it's just dividing us more and more, and it's letting these other nationalities come in here and capitalize on America and its freedom and all of its opportunities. Yet while we sit back and divide ourselves more and more every day, and that's all that's happening, Star. Other nationalities, you can name it, Armenians, Albanians, Somalians, other ethnic backgrounds are coming here and capitalizing on America. And we don't hear anything about these groups, but white and black every day. So,
well, hang on a second, Detroit Ziggy. I'm not sure where you're going. The news cycle puts things out there. I go for the trending stories. Again, if you don't necessarily want to discuss the trending story, then don't call, respectfully. But when I put other things out there, you have to take notice of that. You're relatively new to my brand, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Okay. Nobody has gone harder than Star on terrestrial radio and on social media with regards to every ethnic group. I speak about religion, science, philosophy. When I put things out there, chime in. If I were to say to you right now, Detroit Ziggy, let's talk about the Avion Conference from 1938. Are you familiar with that? The Avion Conference and the fact that America and other places did not want the Jews. Thus, part of the reason why Adolf Hitler, took the action that he took, not excusing anything, but the Avion Conference. You familiar with it?
I am not, Star. Nope.
Okay. You familiar with
I will be after tonight's program.
Hold on. Adolf Hitler, Time Magazine's Man of the Year, approved by the Pope and others. You familiar with that?
I have seen his face on Time Magazine. Yes.
Back in the early 90s, if you're not familiar, and you might be, the plaques at Auschwitz, they used to say 6 million Jews died there. In the early 90s, they changed the plaques to say only 1.5 million died. Are you familiar with that?
I am not.
please do a little research. I would love to have these conversations with you. I have spoken about this stuff with my audience before. So we go in these certain areas. It's not just black and white, but I'm not going to run from a black and white conversation either. You follow me? I appreciate you as a caller. You make some great contributions, but let's focus here on Karmelo Anthony filing his appeal. You're not a father, correct? You're not a father?
Star, you're hitting on all cylinders. You are absolutely correct.
Okay. Try to put yourself in the position of a father, whether it's black or white. What would you say to the young people who may find themselves in a situation like Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony found themselves in? Please.
I would recommend you be the character that's really inside of you and don't prove anybody anything else.
Okay.
And just walk away. Turn around and walk away, because the attention span is only a few seconds. People will forget about it. Life goes on. Stories change. Events happen again. And if you want to be the bigger man, I would walk away from anything that's controversial in life today.
Suppose Karmelo Anthony started walking away and then Austin Metcalf put his foot in Carmelo's ass. Then what would you tell Karmelo?
He would then have the right to defend himself, Star, and I would tell him, then defend yourself.
Okay.
Right? We wouldn't have this conversation if
Get your black ass out of here and don't come back. Pow, right in the ass.
Star, I truly always enjoy your programs, right?
Listen, Detroit Ziggy, I hate to cut you short. I hate to cut you short. Let's have another conversation about the Avion conference one day. Let's talk about those custom Mercedes-Benz cars that were made for the Third Reich. Let's talk about, things like that, man, because I've gone there before. Yes, I have. But I need you to understand that everything by way of this particular topic now, it is about race. You have the last word, please.
Star, I urge you to diversify the podcast, right?
You're not listening. It is diversified. Do a little research and get back to me. Thank you. What the hell is he talking about? I just gave him a bunch of homework to do. Sheesh. Hold on a second, guys. Hey, Miriam. Oh, Miriam sent me a donation. Hi, Miriam. Is that the Miriam who always threatens me? She says, I hate your guts. You play stupid. She said, how did a nigger like you know about the Avion conference? Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you. I learned about that in Terrell Middle School back in the 70s. Area code 215. Please watch the language. Are you there? 215. Good evening. We're talking about the appeal filed by Karmelo Anthony. Good evening. Did they hang up? I didn't hang up on you. Are you there? 215. Good evening.
What's up, Star? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. How are you?
I'm all right. I wanted to talk about the topics. Cardi B, what she said, and also the situation.
Was that really Cardi or AI? I like that audio. Was it really her?
Oh, I don't know. AI is very prevalent and spreading a lot of misinformation in 2026. So you gotta be careful. But if you put it on there and I'm listening to your show, I'm gonna believe that it's her. But what she said was real. I had that conversation with my son. My son is a grown man at this point, but he went to school with Caucasians, similar to Karmelo.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, you got to be careful. I know you said you went to school with Caucasians in New Jersey. You got to kind of be careful, because when you rolling with them, the same laws don't apply. The same laws don't apply. If they do something and you do something, I had to tell him, like, if you do something and they do something, be careful with them girls. The girl might end up telling a story that Chad did something, and you, Jamal, you going to jail for what Chad did. Right. So, I had to break it down to him in them uncertain terms. I'm not going to speak how I spoke to him, but you got to play. It's different rules. I don't think Karmelo's parents failed him. If they don't know, they don't know. I don't know how old his mom and dad are. I don't know what they believe. So you can only judge somebody for you can only judge somebody for what they know, like what they telling their kids. Like if they don't know, I work with kids.
Okay.
And it's a lot of ignorant parents.
Yeah.
It's a lot of ignorant parents out here, man. It's real bad. It's not like when I'm in my late 40s. It's not like when I was a kid, man. My parents was old. They was old school. And I know your dad. You always talk about your dad. He's an old school dude from down south. My dad was from down south too. So they kept it very real. They kept it very, very real, especially about race. I don't know, your previous caller was talking about race. Like for us, it's a different situation. Like they got the people like your previous caller got the right or the ability to sometimes not see race the way we see it.
Right.
He can say that America is divided now and all that, but for me personally, America has always been divided. It's never been a position that my people have been in that we weren't divided from the majority.
It was worse back in the days, if I can just jump in here for a second. It's not getting worse now. We've just got social media that, magnifies what has always been there. But,
that's our reality.
But people don't necessarily want to talk about young black males and females being lynched. And if it were a black male, lynched, castrated, they would put his genitals in his mouth while he was alive and then set him on fire. They don't want to talk about that, What we see now is for the most part, magnified. But the laws, there were no laws to protect black people in this country for hundreds of years. So, I just want to make that clear because the things that we talk about, the realities, I truly believe that educating each other can enlighten some young people on the do's and the don'ts. Go ahead.
Yeah. What you talking about? There was Billie Holiday made a song about it, "Strange Fruit." That's why a lot of our family members moved up north. I don't know what your dad's particular situation was, but a lot of families from like Georgia and Alabama, Mississippi moved to Chicago and Detroit because of them things. Like, like you said, it was lawless. It was lawless down there. And a lot of our people now don't really even know about that. Like the lynching and the hundreds of black men and women and children. Like they did it to man, woman, and child. They hung them up by trees, burned them, had picnics watching it, that the whole town came out to watch black people be brutalized. But I think my last point is I had two very good friends. One passed away from a stabbing and one stabbed him, obviously. The one that did the killing, he only received about 8 or 9 years in prison for it because he got charged with manslaughter. I would say from what I heard of the Karmelo case, that he probably should have got convicted of manslaughter. I don't think, with murder and homicide, it's intent. The intent is what convicts you. And I don't really believe Karmelo had the intent on killing. I don't think he went under that tent to kill anybody. I think with a homicide is more or less or a murder.
I don't mean to cut you short, but I don't want to retry the case right now. We have what we have. He has appealed it. You as a father, can you speak to young people watching the show now, possibly give them some insight, any type of direction if they find themselves in a situation like that one?
You think about your future. Spending 20 years inside a cell with a bunch of sweaty men is not better than being out here going on trips. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with some beautiful women and seeing some different places, going to the beach, having fun with a family, having your own family. Consider the option. That's what I would tell young people. Consider the option.
I appreciate the call. Thank you. Yes. Area code 843. Good evening. Please watch the language. Karmelo Anthony has filed an appeal. Are you there? 843.
Good evening, good evening, boss dog. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, how are you, sir? It's Greg.
Good, sir. I've called in a couple of times. Military veteran from North Charleston, South Carolina.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think the problem with him, and I think the problem with a lot of these young people is they're from that Call of Duty and Halo era, is what I think. I think I've been in. You know, I grew up. I'm 35 years old. I grew up North Charleston, South Carolina. I used to keep a little fish gutter on me when I was in high school, and I've been jumped. I've been in, gang fights and all type of stuff, and I've been poked before. I've poked a couple people before, but when you hit somebody in the chest, it's just like I feel like he thought the kid was gonna respawn or something like that. It's like you're not out here trying to kill nobody or really hurt anybody. You're just trying to get them people up off you. So I feel like that whole thing, and then the fact that he didn't take the stand, I feel like he messed himself up. You're gonna hit somebody in the chest. I mean, all that stuff that you could have got up there. I mean, that's just a dangerous area right there. If you want to de-escalate the situation, the threat escalation just wasn't even up there. You got a white boy, putting hands on you or whatever the case. Cool, whatever. You can come back the next day. The fact that he brought it, I can't condemn him for the fact that he brought it, because I used to keep that thing on me too. But the fact that he even had it at that track meet, and that's what he resorted to, it hit him in the chest, hit him in the upper chest. I can't feel bad for the young man. I think 35 years is crazy, but also I think he's just a young goofy. He probably got a Halo subscription playing the little games with them little kids play.
If I can jump in for a second, I don't know how old he was when the family moved to North Texas from Louisiana. So he may have been already conditioned, like you just said, and maybe carrying a knife was a regular thing where he was from. Either way, whether he was, surrounded or not, there's conflicting reports. However, in the courtroom, they played a grainy video, and it appeared to only be Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony. Now, people can debate this all they want. Maybe it was said prior to the trial, but in the courtroom, they said it was only those two. That's what they said in the courtroom. Go ahead.
Right, and I heard I've seen a couple conflicting reports, because I heard that the brother initially confronted him, but I heard that him and Austin Metcalf were the ones that actually had. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that they're the ones that had the exchange. And he said, touch me and see what's going to happen. He might have jumped in for his brother, but Austin Metcalf and him were the ones that actually had a physical tussle. I heard the brother wasn't even involved. But even so, you don't poke no man in the chest. You just don't do that. And I just don't think if he was raised in a certain environment, that's cool. But even then, I don't even think your parents got almost $1 million house. You can't even be built like that. I mean, you can, but you can't even.
I think they were renting. That $900,000 home. The first home was in Irving, and then they moved to Frisco. They were renting that $900,000 home, and then they moved. After the arrest and all that sort of jazz. But go ahead, you were saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think, and God bless the parents, but I just don't think they prepared that young man for that change of environment. And as a black man in America, I've been all over the world. As a black man in America, you got to keep your head on you have to keep your head on the swivel. Yeah. You have to know proper threat escalation. You have to know, how to move and what not to move, and this, that, and the third. And I think he just probably was just a young kid. It ain't know his thing. And he's like, all right, cool. He shouldn't even have had that thing on him, for real. If it was that type of environment, ain't nobody out to get you in that area they live. Ain't nobody out to get you and get to jump on you or drop on you or nothing like that where you live at. He shouldn't even have had that at the track meet. Now, if he was conditioned prior or previously, that's fine. That's cool and dandy, but you definitely don't poke no man in the chest. I've been stabbed a couple.
If I can jump in with all due respect, it's very easy for us now to say shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's very easy,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But we have what we have. We have a very unfortunate situation. Are you a father?
No, sir. No, sir. No children, and I'm divorced.
Can I ask you to try to put yourself in the position of a father? Speak to the audience watching right now. What would you say to younger males or females if they find themselves in a situation like Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. What would you say?
And that's true. And that's true as well, because me at 16, 17 years old, I wouldn't have had the de-escalation mindset that I have right now at the age I am right now.
Yeah.
And it's so that's true. So I got to rewire my thinking. But I think I would just say, and it's corny, but you call an adult. Let the adults handle it. And if we get the thumping, if we get the banging out, that's on us. But you never.
Well, hold on a second. I'm not saying call for an adult. Is that what you're saying? One of them should have called. I mean, it was raining. Yes. It was raining, so maybe it was just a quick thing, and maybe no adults were paying attention. You're saying
I think
call for an adult?
I think both of them should have got adults. I think both of them should have got adults involved. I think Austin Metcalf, he's a big dude. He wanted to. His size was involved. He's like, man, I can get this little dude up out of here. Whatever the case may be. And I think Austin, if Karmelo, if it was an issue, and I mean, you're not thinking in the heat of the moment, but ultimately, both of them should have got adults involved. Austin should have. He didn't own that 10. He wasn't the owner of that 10. He had no place kicking somebody out of that thing, even if he didn't have a place being there. Okay. Karmelo, you got somebody escorting you out of there. You just want to get shelter in the rain or whatever it was he was doing. That dude's kicking you out. He should have. Hey man, get in the rain, go run a couple blocks, whatever the case may be, and do what you got to do. But
you're in the military. You said yes, or you were?
I was, yes, sir. I did 8 years active duty, 4 years in the reserves.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to retreat and haul ass, right?
Right. Straight up. And then you come.
I've never been jumped personally. I had an older brother that, oh my God, he used to beat the daylights out of me. And God forbid I try to, sniffle or let him think I'm going to cry. Then he would really give me a two-piece or the Ernie Ladd special, Ernie Ladd from the WWE back in the days. So, until I could get my weight up, I hauled ass. Right. If I saw him coming, boom, I'm out the back door. I'm jumping out the window. Got a whole ass sometime. But I appreciate the call, man. Salute.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Yeah. Whole ass. Anybody in the live chat want to keep it real? Have you ever hauled ass from your older brother, older sister, auntie, uncle? Let me get the fuck out of here. After school sometimes, because I'm from that era where, we didn't necessarily need a babysitter. I used to be at the goddamn kitchen table, laugh if you must, sitting there with a Miami Dolphins football helmet on, eating Rice Krispies. Told you this before. Here he comes in the back door, my older brother. He thought he was Wang Yu. Forearm smash in the back of the Miami Dolphins football helmet. Pow! Bowl of Rice Krispies all over the place. I haul ass. I haul ass out the side door. I'm out of here. Area code 404. Good evening. Please watch the language. Are you there? 404.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Hey, who's this?
My name is Shauna, and I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey, Shauna, how are you? What's going on, girl?
I'm good. I just wanted to give a statement.
Come on.
I remember when this Karmelo Anthony situation first happened, and the father of the Metcalf father, the father of the deceased boy, I remember them doing an interview with him and him saying, "I have already forgiven Karmelo."
I remember that. Can you turn that down in the background, dear? We've got some echoing, and I want to hear what you're saying. Please turn something down in the background.
Yes.
It's bleeding through the headphones here.
Okay.
There you go. Sounds much better. You were saying?
Yeah. So, and also after that, he also came to. Remember when he came to the prayer when they held a prayer vigil for Karmelo, and the Metcalf father showed up.
I remember
And
something
they
like
kicked
that.
him out.
I remember something like that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. So I just wanted to say, I believe people need to be careful who their spokesperson is, because Carmelo's mom had this Dominique Alexander as the spokesperson. He had the man put out the prayer vigil, and he said a lot of negative things. If you ask me, they should have taken the father's grace, because a jury, it would have been beautiful if the boy's father would have got up there and said, I forgive him, I have remorse for him. Early on, he had that. And then the Carmelo's family hired this spokesperson who kind of turned the situation around and kind of blasted the man. And then that's when the man just went off like, okay, forget y'all then. And so it's just a reminder, because I think a lot of people forget about that. You know,
if I can jump in for a second, and I like how you've laid everything out and you paid attention. When you said they should have taken his grace, most people don't necessarily understand what you were trying to say. I think I got it. You're saying they should have taken his grace and then used that in the trial? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Because
stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me.
Okay.
This is why certain other cultures, you will never see them apologize or forgive anybody. They wait until the trial or after the trial. You're so right. You're so right. But with regards to Karmelo Anthony's attorney, what's his name again? I forget.
I don't know the attorney name. I'm speaking about that spokesperson.
Okay. Well, one of those people, it may be that person. One of those people is being dragged right now because they're saying that he may have, taken a bag or lined up Karmelo. I don't know if that's true or not. That's pretty outrageous. But we are talking about Texas. We are talking about sweat equity. This is racial. Let's not act like it's not.
Right.
And I can appreciate everything you're saying. But if you know the deck is rigged against you, isn't that more of a reason?
Right.
Isn't that more of a reason to talk to your children? Again, they moved from. Are you a mother, by the way? Are you a mother?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have a 35-year-old.
Okay, stay with me. My producer sent me a text message saying the family moved from Baton Rouge to North Texas in 2021, which means Karmelo was about 13 or 14 years old. Yeah, so if you know the deck is stacked against you and everybody's possibly working together, knows each other in that little county or what have you, it's more of a reason to talk to your children and explain certain things to them to help them get out of a jam. Yes, no?
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. And then, it's kind of, from what I understand, it's kind of like an affluent area. And, I live in a middle class area in the suburban Atlanta. Okay. However, you don't always get the best living out in certain areas.
Right.
And I'm just going to put that out there. You have the money or whatever, and you can buy the big old fancy house and all that. But you got to educate your children, because just because you live out there do not mean they want you out there. And
they hate you even more if you got money. If you showing out, oh my God! Don't be bringing a brand new goddamn G-Wagon and a goddamn whatever you call that vehicle. A lot of people get. Don't be having all that up in the driveway. Then they really want to line you up. Go ahead.
All of that, right? Yeah. So you just have to stay vigilant, and I always taught my son, always be mindful of the company you keep. And all of us, we are one bad decision away from some mess. Sometimes you have to walk away. Sometimes you have to, it's people in the cemetery right now because of ego.
Right.
just walk away. Just go get somebody. You know, if they wanted you to leave, just bounce. You know.
Are you born and raised in Georgia? Born and raised?
Buffalo, New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm from Buffalo, New York.
You got up out of the cold weather, and you living good down there, respectfully.
Love it. Yeah, no more snow.
There you go. There you go.
I enjoy your show.
Thank you, darling.
And
thank you so
you're
much.
one of the realest people out here.
Okay.
So
have a wonderful evening. Bye now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Area code 267. Good evening. Please watch the language. Talking about the Karmelo Anthony appeal. Are you there? 267.
Yeah. Yeah. How you doing, Star?
I'm alive, sir. How about yourself?
Good. Yeah, I wanted to comment on the Karmelo Anthony situation.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, I think his parents did a bad job just basically raising him because he was doomed from the start before that court date even started. Well, reason why I'm saying that they were such bad parents, I remember, you know, when I was growing up, I'm in my mid 40s.
Okay.
And when my mother, when she raised me, I come from a single parent home, and my mother would scare me both ways. She would make me tough enough and scare me to learn how to protect myself.
Okay.
But also she used to threaten me to say, if you get locked up, boy, I ain't getting you out. You know what I'm saying? So with that being in my mind,
right.
You know, I learned how to move out there, and like, if you're going to do something, learn how to get away with it or don't do it at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And something else, my uncles and a lot of them taught me back in the day too, is the fact that they used to say, it's two people you stay away from if you don't want to go to jail forever. He said, white men and Chinese people. He said, you kill either one of them, you be looking at life.
Okay.
And it's kind of sad because, you know, the black culture, they don't really care about black on black crime. You see guys, they kill black on black crime. They get away, they do 20 years, they coming home.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, but, you know, it's true. You know what I'm saying?
Prison is like a resort now. You got niggas streaming live. They got clothing brands in prison. They got jobs. They have health care. They have dental. Niggas living like champs in the penitentiary. Come on.
It's crazy. Man, you get college degree and everything in that place, boy. I tell you. You know. But yeah, I mean, and far as the trial is concerned, you know, I hate when the parents will say, well, they had this certain type of education, they make all this money and blasey, but they wasn't educated enough to get them a proper lawyer. And like the last caller said, the guy that they had speaking for them, they turned it into a whole race war out there. Even if the white people was being that way towards them, we got to learn how to ignore those type of situations and just speak intelligently. And that trial probably would have went a different way. You know what I'm saying? Apologize to the family, even though you feel as though your son was getting bullied or whatever. You know what I mean? He still was in the wrong. And, you know, that probably would have helped.
Can I jump in right there?
Sure.
Pause. I don't think that the mother and father, Karmelo Anthony's parents, I don't think that them showing remorse after he did what he did, I don't think that would have helped the case. I really don't. I think that there was an effort to get him up out of there, and they did. I mean, that trial didn't even last 2 weeks. So, and I'm not saying that she shouldn't be remorseful, but I'm just saying I don't think it would have helped, you know, because we couldn't see into the courtroom. I don't know that county. it doesn't seem to me that public opinion would have had any type of impact, but now I think that maybe now might be a good time to show remorse or whatever, to try and get some type of appeal. But I say, I don't mean to be mean-spirited, pardon me, but he's got to deal with what he's got to deal with now. I'm more concerned about parents now talking to their kids if they get into a situation like that. Are you a father?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you to speak to my audience? If there's younger people, I'm sure there are listening. What would you suggest or recommend or tell them to do if they found themselves in a situation like Karmelo Anthony?
If you can possibly, it even works for me. We have tempers, and if you can just either take at least 5 minutes to yourself before you react to something, a lot of times that'll change your mind and calm you down to the point that you'll make a better instead of making a rational decision, you'll make a better decision. And,
what if you don't have 5 minutes? What if you got 20 seconds? 20 seconds.
Hey, you never know what 20 seconds will bring. It might not. It might seem like it's a shorter. That's a short amount of time, but that's a long time.
Hello. Sir, are you there? Okay. Sir, your phone dropped out. Maybe you might want to call back. I personally don't do hypotheticals, but I will say sometimes you just got a whole ass. I don't mean to laugh. My older brother, oh my God, he looked like Steph Curry from the Warriors. High yellow, one green eye, one gray eye. He didn't like to talk. He just come in, pow! I've told you this before. Later on, he would say, stay ready. This way you don't have to get ready. They've been saying that since the 70s. That's not new. I learned how to haul ass. Jump over the goddamn back fence. See this nigga coming down the stairs, and I'm sitting in the living room doing something, sitting there watching goddamn Magilla Gorilla Speed Racer or some shit. I hear him come down the stairs. I'm out of here. Colleen, is that you on a Thursday evening? I got your donation. Thank you so much, Colleen.
My heart is very heavy over these circumstances. But listen, does anybody remember Michael Griffith? That name ring a bell?
Sounds familiar. Educate me.
Remember when the white boys out in Howard Beach chased him to his death onto the Belt Parkway?
Yeah.
They served hard time.
Yeah.
They were convicted in 89. Yeah. One got out in 2001. One got out in 2016. They chased that young man to his death.
Yeah.
And they received the time that they deserved. But I'm going to tell a story about something very personal that happened to my child.
Come on.
He and his friends went up to Binghamton to a Halloween party in 2017. He was driving my car. After the party, he said some of the white boys up there were like, eyeballing him or whatever. And he knew they were going to try to start a fight with him because he's 6'5" and he was dressed as a pharaoh. So he looked very regal in his appearance. So they were walking over the Court Street Bridge, and when they turned around, it was a mob of white guys talking crazy to them. So my son is an athlete. He played soccer. I don't know.
Your son's biracial.
Soccer, but
your son's biracial, for those who don't know, right?
Yes.
Come on.
But he's a basketball player, wrestler, was on the soccer team at his high school. So he was an all-round athlete. So he turned around and he was like, "What's up?" And they tried to jump him. Now, one of them actually put their hands up his skirt and grabbed his private part.
Whoa.
And he just said he blacked out. And when he looked, he saw that two of them had Omar, and they were dangling him over the Court Street Bridge. And he knew Omar did not know how to swim, unfortunately.
Okay.
So he just blacked out and started beating the hell out of everybody. Okay. So it was 2 against a mob of 8. And when it was over, he had realized they were beaten pretty bad, so they made their way back to the apartment that Omar was staying in because he lived off campus. And that's when my son realized they took his watch, they took his, they took the Yohji Yamamoto sunglasses that Omar had. Okay. He was supposed to be Kanye West. So my son was like, "I'm going back to get my stuff," and Omar said, "Please don't do that." But he went back anyway. Okay. Now I raised my kids on all different kinds of music. One of the people that I played in my house quite a bit was Kenny Rogers. I love Kenny Rogers.
Okay.
And I always told them to listen to the song "The Gambler." You got to know when to hold them.
Know when to
fold them. You got to know when to fold them.
Yeah.
You got to know when to walk away and run, and you don't count your money in front of anybody. Yeah. Right. But he persisted. He wanted to go back and get his things. And when he got there was like 8 police cars there. And one of the assailants actually got on his knees in front of the police and said, "Look at my nose. Look what he did to me. Please."
And they locked up Omar.
Please arrest him.
They locked up Omar.
No.
No?
No. They gave my son a ticket.
Oh.
So he said nothing. He said nothing to me about it. So he went back. It was just a ticket, a desk appearance ticket.
DAT.
When he went back up to Binghamton, they charged him with 6 counts of felonious assault.
Ooh.
Okay. Multiple charges. And he was astounded. He was like, "Wait a minute, they jumped me." And that's what he thought he was going to explain to the judge. Like, how can you say that I beat up 6 people and I have all these felonious assault charges, right, and they attacked me? Right. So when he came back home, he was sick to his stomach. He told me what happened. I said, "Oh, no. Yeah." At the time, I was working in law enforcement, the highest law enforcement office in the state of New York.
Okay.
I spoke to my mentor. I was working there as a mediator and a legal analyst. And I explained the circumstances. And he got on the phone with Alvin Bragg, who was working for the Civil Rights Division.
At that time.
Alvin Bragg spoke to me and he said, "We've had a lot of problems with students coming up from the Bronx or the city to go visit their friends in Binghamton. Yeah. And they get arrested after they've been jumped." So he said that the prosecutor is a problem. So I picked up the phone and I called the prosecutor. And I said, "How dare you charge my son with 6 counts of felonious assault without investigating properly? He was jumped with his friend."
Can I jump in, Colleen? Can I jump in? Mm-hmm. Was there a trial? What happened ultimately? What happened?
So we went back up there for his little appearance, like he had a trial.
Okay.
And they thought I was his attorney.
Okay.
And I said, "No, I'm his mother." They waited for the entire courtroom. We were the first people there, and we were the last people to appear before the judge. And when my son appeared before the judge, he said, "I am not guilty. These people jumped me. I was assaulted, and I defended myself, and I defended my friend. And I went back because they stole my wallet, they stole my watch, they stole the judge dismissed everything."
Good.
So I wanted to go and speak to the prosecutor. I wanted him to see me face to face. Like, "You're going to put my son in prison? Are you out of your mind?" Okay. It left he wouldn't come downstairs and talk to me.
I hear your passion.
Wait. It left a very bad taste in my mouth that as a prosecutor, he wouldn't come and talk to the mother of somebody he was trying to send to prison. Okay. 6 years later, guess what happened? He was charged with grand larceny. The prosecutor was Steve Cornwall. You can look him up.
Okay.
He stole from the prosecutor's office. He tried to cover up his own DWI. He sent his son to the son was dealing fentanyl-laced heroin up there.
Colleen, now if his son wasn't convicted, I have to say this hearsay. I can't go in that direction. I'm sorry. Your son beat the case, though. Long story short, yes.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
All right. So hold on. So with regards to Karmelo Anthony now filing the notice of appeal, I don't want to rehash the case. We've done that already. Your experience, your expertise. You're also an educator in
yes, sir.
the Bronx. What is your advice, if you will, to young people who may be in a situation like Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf? What's your advice?
As I stated early in other conversations, I worked in a charter school with transfer students who were already jammed up in the juvenile justice system. And I taught U.S. history.
Colleen, I don't mean to cut you short. We know this. You are official.
Okay.
What is your advice? What's your advice?
Keep your mouth shut. Okay, first of all, don't get into any altercations with anybody. Like I said, you got to know when to hold them and you know when to fold them. But what you have to do is keep your mouth shut if you've done something wrong. This young man was, I did it. They got him on body cam. He admitted that he killed the kid.
Yeah, he admitted it. Yeah.
So he admitted it. He's got no chance of appeal.
Okay.
He's got absolutely, positively no chance at appeal. And it's heartbreaking.
Okay.
2 young men have lost their lives. Okay. Was he wrong? Absolutely. But clearly there was something wrong with him. He had some type of behavioral problem, oppositional defiant disorder, intermittent explosive disorder, and his parents did not get him the psychological care that he needed. And just like the parents that have been convicted for these kids that go into the schools.
If I can jump in, stay right there. He does have troll babies. Karmelo Anthony has epilepsy. Did I say that right? Epilepsy? Did I say that right, Colleen?
Epilepsy?
Epilepsy,
yes,
pardon me.
Epilepsy?
Epilepsy.
Okay.
I don't know if that was part of his defense, but that may be something that by way of the appeal he can use. Listen, I have to take other calls. Anything else you want to close out by mentioning? The New York Knicks? Perhaps you got to be excited.
Come on.
You're a Nick fan from way back. Yes, come on.
Yes, of course. They're gonna take it, and it's like a miracle. Like all this, we got the joy and the pain going on at the same time.
Okay.
And I just want to say to everybody who's on the phone, talk to your kids. Yeah. Talk to your kids. Tell them to exercise their constitutional rights. Kids do stupid things all of the time. Okay. I raised 3 of them.
Great to talk to you.
Tell them to shut up.
Great to talk to you.
All right, bye.
Bye now. Okay. Hey there, who's that on my screen? Hey there, thank you, darling. Always bet on black. Epilepsy is not oppositional defiance disorder. I don't know. So you're saying he can't use that as a defense? Gangster of Love, good to hear from you, sir. Thank you for chiming in. Are you there? GOL.
Star, the big homie. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. Where do you want to start?
So I wanted to talk about the Karmelo Anthony situation. I definitely think it's unfortunate for him, and I think he was scared. I really do think he was scared.
Well, we don't want to go back. And I don't want to retry the case. We're talking about the notice of appeal that has been filed. That's where we are now. Let's pick it up from there.
Okay, so on his notice of appeal, I honestly think they will deny it, reject it. And on that 35 years, unfortunately, he's probably going to have to do 27 of them. You know, while he's in there, he'll continue to get his education and go through all the programs that'll reduce his sentence down to assuming 27. But yeah, honestly, I don't think he's not gonna beat it. I really just don't think he is, truth be told.
Okay. Did his parents fail him?
His parents did fail him. Absolutely. Okay. Anytime you move into the affluent suburbs and you're dealing with white kids, you got to have that talk with him to let them know, like, you know, you're never going to be accepted by them. And you got to know how to deal with them in a sense of mentally and physically. Personally, I would tell my kids, I mean, not to say don't be friends with them, but keep them at a distance with a wooden spoon, you know. And if he has siblings, be friends with your siblings, but trying to be best friends with white folks is not something I would advise for my kids. And I'm not saying that from a racist point of view. That's just the world and the reality we live in. White folks are always going to try to size you up and make you feel less than, especially when you're doing with white people that got money. So I do think they failed them.
Okay. You're married. You're a father. I respect your insight, more so than myself. I mean, I've got kids, grown-ups who claim that I'm their father, and I may even have grandkids, but I don't claim anybody. Now I'm not trying to put your business out there. You live in a very upscale neighborhood, yes? Gated community?
I own that property. I don't live there no more. I downgraded because I'm in a
don't say where you live now.
Yes, I did live in a affluent neighborhood, gated, and dealt with racism from white people out walking my dog, asking me what am I doing over here, and
hold on.
Many occasions.
Hold on. I just wanted to prove a point. I'm okay with racism. I welcome it. I understand it. That's how I grew up. To be fair, I'm more concerned with YNs, niggas and slides. I'm more concerned with them than I am with racist white kids or white people, if you will. Do you think that it's either or are both concerning? Keep it real, because America's racist. It always has been, it always will be, in my opinion. But aren't you, as I don't want to say what you do for a living, but you've got a beautiful family. Aren't you more concerned with young black kids than kids like Austin Metcalf? Come on, keep it real, man.
Man, I can't say yes or no, Star. You got me tongue-tied right there. I would say 50-50. I've seen the best sides of both races. I've seen the worst sides of both races. I really think that I think it's more so where you live. Going to a private school, white kids do some of the things you would never believe, and they get away with it because their parents got the money to get them out of the trouble. But to think that white kids don't do things that black kids don't do would be a falsehood. I will say that. Okay. I think what it is that poverty gets highlighted, and black people get, we get the highlight of being nemesis to America. But I really think it's kind of, they're just kids. Like, kids do what kids do.
I hear you, and I'm going to let you land your plane. Janet, sit tight. I see you in the queue. I hear you loud and clear.
So I'm going to...
But now...
I'm going to land my plane. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I just, this is the objective perspective, since we've gone into a different direction now, And again, I know how to respond. I grew up learning how to verbally articulate myself, in front of kids like Austin Metcalf and others. But that's something that is not, in my opinion, enforced enough today. People have this thing where they think growing up in the suburbs means that you're soft. I disagree. I've always disagreed with that. I think you have to be smarter. You can't just pop off or think that, violence is going to get you out of a situation. I truly, truly think it makes it worse. And you have to be smarter growing up in those suburbs, which you live good, man. But go ahead and land your plan. I just want to say all that. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. No, I totally agree with you. I want to land my plane on this. A gentleman called in earlier, and he was displaying his hate for the Muslims that are living in Ireland. And I just wanted to give him some information, is that a devout Muslim funded the IRA for 10 plus years with hundreds of millions of dollars by the...
But that's not my topic tonight, Gangsta Love.
IRA.
That's not my topic. You're talking about Rory.
Okay.
You guys can pick that conversation up another time. I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for always taking my call. If you like it, I love it. I'm out.
Thank you, man. Okay. 973. I think Janet dropped out. Are you there? Good evening. 973.
Hey, good evening, Star. How's it going?
It's going. Who am I speaking to?
Speaking to Dave from Farley.
Hey, what's up, man? Scotch Plains, New Jersey. People don't know where Farley is. Scotch Plains, New Jersey, my hometown.
It's Scotch Plains, New Jersey, but I bet you they heard about Clark, New Jersey, so don't get off if your paperwork ain't right.
Right. What's going on, man? Let's crack him.
Hang it in there. I want to touch on this Karmelo Anthony case. They're saying that Charleston White is trying to get something going, and they're claiming that Cardi B has offered money as well for his appeal lawyers.
Appeal. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a rumor or if that's actual. I believe Charleston White definitely is.
Sir, no disrespect, but I'm not here to promote celebrities and what they're pondering, what they may do. I want to talk to you. What do you think about the appeal that has just been filed? What do you think about what was done, what was committed? What do you think? Never mind celebrities.
Well, here's the thing, Star. You know how them white boys be giving it up, man. And I got my own thoughts as to what happened. I must agree with you, though. Like you say, they are extremely nosy, man. Like, they just can't let it go. And if you look back over the stuff that has happened in their interactions, it has always been the case of a white person not minding their business. 90% of the time when something goes left and it...
Sir, can you get to the appeal? You're just rehashing what I've already said. Come on, I don't need to rehash.
Well,
the appeal.
The appeal, they actually should have already did that with his bond, because he's been sitting in jail. They should have already had an appeal going to get the bond going, and then on top of that, going to court, he would have been out. So I think he might have a better...
Let's get him out of here. Did he say he would have been out? There's no chance of him getting out. Fuck. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Peace, Shabon. The guy sent me a donation for those videos I just played. You know, just... Yeah, I know it's crazy shit. It's just crazy shit, you know. But listen, man, people spend Skrilla. I am here to entertain what I can. Ralph, I got your donation. Thank you, sir. Ralph says, Star, would calling 911 help or at least threaten to? What do you mean, Karmelo Anthony calling 911? Well, sir, they were in the rain. I can't say, you know, what should have happened for that situation, but for, you know, the other people, I want us to try. Let's at least try to offer some types of solutions, advice, if you will, because it's a tragedy no matter how you slice it. And I do think that there was an effort by everyone involved, you know. And now I can't get a confirmation if he is in a prison, pardon me, and the warden is related to the Metcalfs. Can anyone confirm that in the live chat, please? That might just be somebody, you know, trolling. I don't know, on social media. Hey there, area code 718. Good evening. Please watch the language. Are you there, 718?
I am here,
hey.
Star.
Hey.
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Who's this?
This is Felicia from Brooklyn.
Hey, Felicia, what do you want?
So I got a couple of answers to your questions.
Come on.
If I may. So the father, Jeff Metcalf, did an interview with CBS Dallas. And
I played part of it earlier. Yeah. I played part of it.
Right. So in that interview, he says he's not related.
Okay.
That they're not related to this warden.
Oh, to the warden.
Of this. Right.
I think that's cap, but go ahead. I think that's cap.
I agree, because I know the father is a proven liar. So, second, Rory, when he came up, he gave you facts.
Okay.
About the crock pot. And that the coach had told Austin to step up, that he was in charge. You will also...
I don't know about the crock pot. I must have missed that, but...
No, it's true. That was testimony.
Okay,
testimony.
I don't know what reference you're making about the crock pot, but
okay. So someone asked, or when Rory came up, they said, "Well, how come there wasn't an adult in the tent?"
Okay.
And it turned out who left Austin in charge? The coach left Austin in charge.
Okay.
because he left to go get a crock pot.
Okay,
that
got
is
you.
true.
Got you.
Okay.
Can you give me the source to what you're saying? Because I don't know that to be true. Can you give me the source?
It's in the court testimony.
Can you send it to
That
me?
was, of course I can.
Please,
I
go
will
ahead.
when I hang up. Okay.
Go ahead.
And third, in confirmation to what you said about you felt that there was some kind of tension there. You're absolutely correct, because that same coach had suspended Austin from the team, and he had reinstated him that day. So there was tension between the Metcalf brothers and the coach, because the coach had suspended them because he said that as leaders, they, even when they finished their whatever thing they do in track and field, instead of them staying to support the other teammates, they would go off fishing with their father.
Okay.
So he had suspended him, and he was very upset. So now you'll say, well, what's the big deal? It's a very big deal. You're a very knowledgeable man, Star. We know how big football is in Texas. And Austin was on the pathway of becoming a superstar football player in Texas football in college.
Okay.
And a lot, I believe, of the parents' loss is not the loss just of the son, but of the dream and the work that they had done, the hopes they had for his future. I also believe that the Metcalfs were extremely strategic in putting together a legal plan that was going to make sure that Karmelo Anthony was going to get convicted, and he was going to get charged with a very difficult sentence.
Okay.
They made sure that they had those relationships. Yes, we talked about, there's a photo here, and I talked the other night, these relationships always happen in these courts. But they ensured that everybody was seeing them as family. We're family. You know, so-and-so's mother works here and father works there, and you know they're going to call your kid, and when your kid comes in, we expect you to stand with us. We've had you over. You've been part of the family.
Right.
You know we were there for you when
Right.
this happened and that happened.
Right. If I can interject, you are talking that talk, and one of the reasons why I like to not grill but ask young people when they say, "Yo, I'm FBA." Okay, well, do you have a network? That network is crucial. Saying you're part of a lineage, that's a great start. But do you have a network? The network that you just described, I truly, in my heart of hearts, I think that was the nail in the coffin for Karmelo Anthony. I do think he is guilty at the same time. I think he overreacted. I just want to say all of that. Are you a mother yourself?
Of course.
Okay.
I have 3 children.
Okay.
All 3 of my children were varsity athletes.
Okay.
They competed on a very high level of sports.
Okay.
They went, I think I've told you before, to private independent boarding schools.
Okay.
So their father and I always had to talk. It was a little bit, somewhat like what your father might say, but we were a little bit more in detail. So if what you're asking me is what would I say?
My father was straight racist. Straight racist.
Well, we're not straight racist, but we're clear.
Okay.
We understand that color matters,
right.
And race matters, and how you're perceived is all too often by others by what they see on, in media, on television. They don't know that there's a difference. They don't know a lot. So they're just going to go on what they know, and they're going to deliver it. And something like, touch me and you'll find out, gets, co-opted to be a major threat, and that you were some evil villain sitting there with this thing. But if I may, I would say to them, as I said the other night, know when to leave.
Yeah.
Know when, if it's hauling ass or running away or backing off, faking that a phone call came through, whatever it is, know when to leave. Especially for those who have such a promising future like Karmelo Anthony. Everything was going his way. And many times, I'm not saying in all times, but many times when your parents, your family come into communities where, quote, Jet Metcalf says, you don't belong. And they see that you're a rising star. They will not want you to achieve that. And I think this is what happened here. I did see an interview with the parents, and they were claiming that they didn't know this and they were told that. I don't know if there's cognitive challenges with the two of them, but they certainly thought that they were accepted.
Girl, stop right there. Stop right there. You just said a mouthful, because I saw the father speaking. No disrespect, but he sounded like he didn't have a firm vocabulary, you know. And I just said, oh man, you down there in a white county, and if you're living in a home valued at $900,000, they were renting that home at first, you know, you could be asking for trouble. I hate to say it like that, but white folk study black folk. Can we agree on that? I study black people.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Black music, black art, anything with black, they study it, and they will study.
Yes,
they will study you. Watch you. Watch what you're driving. Watch what you're putting. What type of gas you're using. So you know. But hey, I appreciate the call. Thank you for the clarity on some things. Anything else you want to say?
I'll send you that transcript.
Please do.
I would like to just to know when to leave. There's no shame in walking away.
Yeah.
And putting yourself first. There's no shame in that.
Yeah.
And that's with anybody in any situation.
Yeah.
Thank you, Star.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Thank you. Janet, are you calling back? I'll wait for you, Janet. Janet just sent me an email. Okay, you sent the notice of appeal. Thank you so much, Janet. You sent a PDF file. It's wonderful, wonderful. Call back, Janet. I had other calls. Area code 903. You're calling from Texas? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
This is Flag from Texas. How you doing, Star?
Good to hear from you, sir. Please watch the language. Where do you want to start?
Yes, sir. Well, on the appeal for Anthony, well, we already know he's cooked on a case that should have been just a manslaughter, but that's done with. And my advice to parents is, especially for white folks, is just basic humanity. Like, what nobody's really talking about is it was raining. So you see this other child out here, instead of having basic humanity, saying, come in here. Are you thirsty? You hungry? We're giving each other that work out here, huh? We're having fun. No, instead he's trying to kick this boy out into the rain. And, like, it's just horrible, man. It's just basic humanity, which a lot of white people lack.
I'm not sure where you're going, so I was asking parents to speak to younger people who may find themselves in a situation like Austin Metcalf and Karmelo. Can you speak to younger people?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, if we like just teach your kids, like, hey, man, you see a child out here, like I said, he was wet, didn't have a place to go into a tent.
Okay.
Just bring him in. Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, come in here, man. Instead of like trying to show out and be the bully, and you see he's getting wet.
You're saying the white boy should have welcomed Karmelo with open, loving arms. Come on in. We all bleed the same. Come on in here. Get out the rain.
He would have still been alive. And so Anthony, at some point,
that's a crock of shit, sir. Respectfully, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, sir.
I know it's not, but that's what we need to teach each other, right?
In theory, sir, what you're saying sounds hot, but how old are you? Respectfully, how old are you?
40 years old.
Okay. You're a smarter man than me, I'm sure. White folks right now are working off of a curriculum of white genetic survival. White genetic survival. So ain't nobody trying to, extend an olive branch or, show loving compassion respectfully. I hear what you're saying.
Very true, Star.
Well, I don't say it's true because I'm saying it. I'm talking about the nature of mankind, number one, combined with white genetic survival. Whitey is going to fight you. You're a black man?
Yeah.
Whitey's going to fight you for this country, sir, and the planet at some point. I know I may sound a little crazy right now, but he's going to fight you to the bitter end. There's not going to be no let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. It's not going to happen. But I'll let you land your plane. Go ahead.
Oh, that's it, man. You hit the nail on the head. Is Whitey has his agenda, and that's just what they're going to do. And no matter what it is hate overall, right? The survival of their race, not even of the fittest. So we get these cases, and they're unfortunately just going to continue. But I appreciate you giving me a few minutes, Star. Appreciate you.
Salute.
Thank you for the show.
Hey, Miss Playful. Yeah, I'm going to pass on them young boys in New Guinea. Anything with anybody under 18, I'm going to pull back because the guy who sent me them videos with them little young males dancing in Pakistan and Iran and places like that, that shit been going on for centuries, but thank you for your donation. There you are, Janet. Nice to hear from you. Thursday night, we're talking about the appeal. Janet.
Hey, Star. How are you?
I'm alive, Janet. Niggas out here having strokes. Niggas out here having aneurysms, issues with cholesterol. And here I am, the atheist, still at 62. Good God almighty.
Praise God.
Praise God. What's going on, Janet?
Well, the reason I was calling is about the Karmelo Anthony situation and the appeal. Right. I think on the appeal, they're basically going with the meat of the non-black juror. However, they have other add-ons. And but you know what? I want to say this first. A lot of people don't understand that when Austin was stabbed, may he rest in peace, Karmelo was not standing. He was leaning over Karmelo. They was on like the benches, like, at the high schools and stuff.
Okay.
And Austin was standing, and all witnesses testified. Karmelo did not stand up until after the stabbing.
Okay.
To after the stabbing. So people have it mixed up like, that he stood up and just ran something into his chest. No. Okay. So that's why the forensic evidence said that, and the prosecutor said, and the prosecutor stated, you can read the transcript, that they don't know if Austin fell into the knife or was he plunged. They don't know, so how could they have a conviction when this came out in open court? However, I think that if he would have been found not guilty, I think that I don't think that the Anthony family would have lasted a week alive in that area. It's sad to say that, but I don't think they would have. I don't think they would have just went on with their happy life, because I believe that that's a strong, close-knit community, and at this point, I believe they think that white is right and in their family, so they have to stick together, and I think that's probably why it was so many change of stories. So I guess we're gonna have to sit back and wait to see what happened with this appeal. But I just want people to remember that Anthony was sitting when Austin was stabbed. He was not standing up, running towards him with a knife, or just stood there, pulled the knife out, and stabbed him. Remember, the blood was found.
Austin was sitting also? I'm confused. You said
No, Austin was standing.
Okay.
Austin was standing. May he rest in peace. And Karmelo was sitting. Okay. So he was like, if you know, like high school benches, they're like steps.
Okay.
Right? So Austin was standing over Karmelo.
Karmelo.
I'm trying to say Karmelo. And he was sitting. That's why the prosecutor, if you read the transcripts, say that he doesn't know. They cannot prove if Austin fell into the knife.
Can I jump in, Janet?
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you and thank you for the information that you sent me now. All of that's pretty much been hashed out already, you know, and you know, do you think any of that?
Well, yes, but
Do you think
that's
any
what's
of
going to
that?
come up in the appeal.
Okay, so you're pretty confident that the appeal will be successful, or you're saying there will be a different strategy? Will there be a different lawyer? I mean, that's I'm curious.
I think it's going to take a while because you're looking at a society that is because a close-bred society. Now you have to think the Karmelo family, the Anthony family, is sitting up here with all these $600,000 houses and all the fancy stuff. And at the time of the
$900,000.
At the Metcalf family, the parents were separated, and the mother was a pizza delivery person, and the twins worked part-time at the same pizza delivery shop. Okay. So it wasn't like it came from a wealthy family, but this was hope. This football thing was their chance to make it out of the situation they were in.
Okay.
You know, so it was a rag to riches story, and it got cut short, and it got cut short by a black face. So that now you have that scenario, and then the fact that these the Karmelo family kept, you know, they didn't
take your time. You okay? Take your time.
Mm-hmm. They didn't shrink themselves. They didn't go and get like a normal house to rent outside the vicinity. They went and they maintained the same living standards that they did. So that's like, you know, a smack in the face to the Metcalf family who were separated, the mother and father, because they had a lot of what they say domestic stuff going on.
All right. Do you want to land your plane or anything else you want to add to this? And did you see Scary Movie 6, Janet? Do you care to discuss? I don't know.
I never seen any scary movie. It never, you know, caught my eye.
Okay.
Never. I never seen not one of them. You know, I seen the commercials and stuff, but I never sat and watched any of them. So, but yeah, because it's like it just finished storming, so now it's real muggy, and I can't catch my breath, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on the air.
Great to talk.
It's like real muggy.
Great to talk.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye now. All right. Is that my nigga Scotty tapping in 216 late night Scotty?
What's up with you? What's up with y'all? How everybody doing, man?
What's going on with you, man? Good to hear from you. What's cracking, Scotty?
Man, up here in Detroit, man, switching out these trailers, about to head back to Cleveland, man.
Okay.
Dude, I just tapped in, and when I tapped in, all I heard was police commotion. And did they hook up off the
Skip the games.
website?
Skip the games, yeah.
Oh, no. Why they? I know about those sites. I heard about those sites. I ain't gonna say how. I ain't gonna incriminate myself, but you know, you hear rumors about sites. You know, you find yourself sometimes in your office, and you kind of, I'm a little curious about these sites. So these people.
Well, no, so she had the child in the back seat, man. I mean, it's really some low down, dirty stuff. But listen, I don't want to focus on that, man. Karmelo Anthony has filed for a notice of appeal. Any thoughts on that, Scotty?
Yeah, man, that's a wild case, man. I didn't had all kind of controversy with friends and family over this particular case. I hope they get the appeal. It seems I did listen to the interview with the parents that dropped earlier.
Okay.
I listened to it in its full totality.
Okay.
I hope they do get the appeal. It's also Texas. The one lady touched on a few things that is a part of that good old boys club, those small towns. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how that's going to work, but I hope they do get the appeal. But listening to the lady also touched on something that I was when I listened to that interview with those parents, something was like something is not right with this situation. I do not want to call them tethers under no circumstance whatsoever. I'm not calling them parents tethers.
Okay. However,
but listening to that interview and saying how that they were not aware of, they didn't know most black folks in the United States are aware that these things are in place and can happen to a black child at any given time, at any given place.
Bingo.
We try to teach our children about them and try to avoid them. Hey, man, if your back is against the wall and you ain't got no option, fight. But if you can get away, you can run, you can walk away, you can call us, get the Uber, please do that.
Right.
But to listen to them and how they was kind of fumbling, stumbling over words, I'm like, where is they from? And we all want our kids to, it sounds like he was an overall good kid, which we all want. Straight A, worker, going to be someone. But you still can succumb to the pitfalls of a white suburban community, or you can succumb to the ghetto community. So for them to say what they were saying, I appreciate that they did they was kind of holding back information. But overall, I'm looking at them a little crazy because y'all kind of fumbling over your words like something is off.
Let me jump in here for a second, Scotty. You know, sometimes that transition from one community to the other is not well received, and wanting to upgrade, there's nothing wrong with that. Wanting to
nothing wrong with it.
Raise your children in better schools, or just a different environment. I can respect that, but the grass is not always greener on the other side. White ice is not always colder. If you grow up in that environment, that's one thing. But if you come from a place, and I'm not calling the family ghetto, but if you bring certain behavioral patterns to a affluent area, they will, in some way, shape, or form, combine forces to get you up out of there. I think that's what happened. I'm not excusing Karmelo Anthony's actions. He killed someone. But I just want to make that clear that, with young people today, you have to have a sense of your surroundings. I said that when the show started. I'm not sure if you heard me say that or not, but I think a lot of today's young people and parents, they have no sense of shame. They've lost all sense of dignity, and they have no parameters. I need you to land your plane because I'm getting backed up on call, Scotty.
Oh, man, look, man, up here, the rain just hit up in Detroit real bad. Okay. About to hit this road, man. Everybody stay safe, man. And black folks, please, please, please understand this. The system of white supremacy is real, and also so is the circle of trife. White supremacy could be in a white affluent neighborhood. The circle of trife can be in a ghetto neighborhood.
Okay. Thank you,
We
Scotty.
just got to make good decisions and hope we don't succumb to them.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Scotty tapping in. Guys, I want to make it clear before I shut the show down. Karmelo Anthony killed Austin Metcalf, and he's got to do some time. He's got to do some time. Until I have seen the court transcripts, which I have not, I'm not just going to align myself with him by way of tribalism. I don't support tribalism. I'm not looking down upon his family, but I think, in my opinion, my uneducated opinion, that he was failed. You got to move different when you move into different areas. And it's sad that, a lot of young people today feel like they need to carry firearms, knives, weapons, if you will. But there's consequences. There's repercussions. Let me look in the live chat. Guys, Karmelo Anthony is the eldest, yes, of the other children in the family? Yes? No? He's the oldest? You got to take your L's sometimes. I don't mean to make it sound funny, but, I used to haul ass with my older brother because he was just demonic at times. And just I didn't have the weight, to to keep him off of me. And again, after school, we didn't have no babysitter. Get the fuck up out of here. This half nigga's got a problem. Stacy Glore, thank you for your support as always. Make sure I got Stacy's information on that screen. Okay. That's all I want to say with regards to, my advice to young people. Yeah, you have to get yourself out of a situation, Let me go to area code 323. Good evening. Please watch the language. Are you there? Extended show.
Hi, Stan. Thank you for having me.
Hey, who's this?
It's Daphne in Queens.
Hey, can you get off the speakerphone or the headset? We're having trouble hearing you. I want to hear everything you're saying, please.
Is this a little better?
A little better. Your name is again?
Daphne.
Daphne, how are you, Daphne? Where do you want to start, dear?
I guess all of the topics. It is very unfortunate what's going on with Karmelo Anthony. I also believe that he was failed. And I really think that our youth really needs to, our youth and, us as adults, we need to learn how to utilize better conflict management, conflict resolution.
I like that.
And,
I like that conflict resolution. Yeah.
And I do want to say one thing, because even though, you may walk away from a fight or, whatever, but then those people end up following you too. So then it's also okay if you're ever in that type of situation, how you deal with it. So I just wish that we all just got along better and treated each other better and got along.
I have no proof, if I can jump in, but I think that Austin Metcalf and possibly his brother and their friends, they may have been aware of Karmelo Anthony, but didn't necessarily have any altercations, and maybe Austin chose that particular setting to confront him. All these high school, middle school kids, they have these mobile devices, so they know who the other one is. They're looking at the profiles, tagging, avoiding someone. Does that sound plausible? He probably knew of him. They were not friends, but he knew of him, and he felt confident trying to punk him. He tried to punk Karmelo. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then unfortunately, one life is lost, and he's not going to get out until he's almost 60.
Yeah.
I think that is another angle that I wanted to talk about in regards to his appeal. The state of Texas, things are happening in Texas. And then of course with the high profile case that this is, I think, if they do allow the appeal to be processed per law, they've already made their decision that he's going to stay in there, and he's going to do his time.
Do you think he might be a good prison wife, Karmelo Anthony?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh Lord.
I don't mean to be silly, but do you think he might be a good prison wife? I mean, listen, we have to deal with what we have now. All that hypothetical stuff sounds hot, but he's got smooth skin. He's that young sweat equity. Do you think he'll be a good prison wife? You ever been to the penitentiary?
No, I have not.
No, have I, but today's generation is different. You're calling from the ATL, yes? You call from ATL?
No, I'm in New York, in Queens.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
He might not have it so rough in the penitentiary, just shit is different now. Good, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, someone close to me said, it's a difference, that's why they create sidewalks for people who can't handle the street life. And, unfortunately, when you are behind bars, you're dealing with mental illness, but then two, you also dealing with people that have committed, a variety of crimes and may not even feel sorry about it. So it really is, throwing a lamb to wolves or a lamb to lions, in terms of him being safe behind those prison walls. So, I wish him the best while he's in there. I hope that he reads and, finishes his education or, do whatever. But yeah, I think he's going to serve all of his time.
Okay. Before you go, Scary Movie 6, did you see it? I recommend it. It's doing very well. It's grossed $120 million, only made on a budget of $30 million. Scary Movie 6, yes, no?
I did see it. I saw it I think 2 or 3 days ago.
What'd you think? What'd you think?
I was so disappointed. And I've been a fan of, Sean and Marlon and Scary Movie 1, 2, 3, and 4, and, all this up until 6. I laughed. I'm not going to lie. I laughed a few times, but it didn't give me all that I needed or all that I wanted. So I was very disappointed.
Well, let me ask you a question. The first one came out in 2000, right? The sequel came out in 2001. They lost the rights or creative control. So they were not involved in Scary Movie 2, 3, 3, 4, and 5. If you ask me, it's on brand. It's consistent with the original or the creative juices. Do you think it's just a thing now of you're older, it's been 26 years. Maybe you're older and, that the humor is just dated. Could that be possible?
And that is a very good question, because I definitely noticed the generational difference.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is a difference, but I mean, funny is going to be funny. You know what I mean? Even if you, cross different lines in terms of saying different things or whatever, if it's funny, you're going to laugh, but it wasn't that funny.
Okay.
It was not that funny to me.
I appreciate the call. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
What do you think, guys? Do you think Karmelo Anthony will be a good prison wife? He's not going to be a boss. He ain't built like that. He was crying in the courtroom, crying some other time. So he's going to have to get his weight up. One more caller, guys. One more caller here. It's getting late. 810. Did we speak yet? 810?
No, hey, Star, it's Olivia.
Hey, good to hear from you. Thank you for your continued support. Where do you want to start, Olivia?
Well, I just want to say I hope that he, goes for, it's his appeal grant, because I'm kind of torn. It sucks that a life was lost, and it also, it was an unfortunate, freak accident that would happen, and I just feel bad for the young man, but I hope he, appeal, and I hope everything I hope he try to get it.
So if I had to guess, you are culturally connected to the crime and the outcome, yes?
What do you mean?
You're a black woman, yes? Carmelo's a black man? Okay.
Well, and I have a black son.
Okay.
So, that's where it connects where me at, so that's where I empathize real bad, is that, I have a son, and Karmelo is 19? I'm 20, my son is 22.
Okay.
So, it's real close in age, but, I talk to my son a lot. His dad talked to him a lot. So if he go out there and he makes these decisions that we didn't, raise him to do, what can we do about that? That sucks, but we tried to raise him, but still kids are going to go out there and do what they do. But I just really hope that these parents start talking to their kids about race relations, Star. This is very important because a lot of times when Black people move out to the suburbs, because I've lived in the suburbs before, when Black people move out to the suburbs, we get this kind of air that we made it. Okay, I hear a lot of Black people say, "Oh, I live around the white folks now." Like that's just something so special.
Those are city folk who get a little skrilla and then they move out to the suburbs. But people who are Black folk born and raised in the suburbs or biracial, we know coming out the gate at an early age what not to do, where not to go. We have an understanding of parameters. We do.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And I just hope that parents talk to their kids more about these type of situations. I hope, when historical situations happen like this, we really need to sit back as people and talk to our kids about any situations that's going on, especially when it involves youth, and I was about to say youth, but, this really needs to happen. And what else was you talking about tonight?
Scary movie 6. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it yet. I just watched Michael Jackson, so I didn't see a Scary Movie yet. So I'll have to see that. But I just hope that
it's very silly if you're into that sort of thing. It's it's a goofy film, but people like that sort of stuff. I'm not gonna hate on the formula. It's been working. There will be a Scary Movie 7. It's already made its money back and then some. So.
Well, I'm just going to support it anyway because it's the Wayans. I've been watching them since, what's that one show that they used to have back in the day with the clown and stuff. Okay. So In
Living Color.
Support them just in Living Color, yeah. Right. So I would just support them anyway. Okay. Because I just like them as a family, and I just think that they have funny, and I don't feel like they get enough respect. So
okay, great to talk to you. Thank you for your support, Olivia.
Yep, bye.
Bye now. You are my last caller. Good evening. Are you there? Please mind the language. 470.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, who's this?
This is Marjorie.
Hey, Marjorie, how are you, darling? Where do you want to start?
I am great. I'm disappointed, but I'm great. Okay. I'm very disappointed the way I hear the talk on your show and the way some people feel. This was a good kid, and you all did not get to see the whole tape. However, everybody needs to hold everything until they see the tape. Once you see the tape, then you understand what really happened. And I think everybody's making opinions too fast and don't know what they're talking about unless you was there. Now, the tape shows that he was not just pushed. And the tape shows that the guy actually laid his hands on it. His brother also decided that he would help jump this kid. Okay. However, the kid was trying to save himself from being hurt. They had pushed him down to the point that he had fell down. That's why everybody needs to wait. Oh, you comments.
Did you
see? You hear the tape?
Did you see the tape, darling?
See the tape,
darling. Did you?
Then you all should make a fair.
Baby, can you hear me? I'm sorry. Did you see the tape? Did you see the tape?
Well, they showing a little parts of the tapes on other people's network, just little parts of it at a time.
Can you please send me the tape? I have not seen it, but you have seen it. You've seen the tape.
I have seen the little portion that they put on the media part of it.
Okay.
However, this is what I'm saying. I don't think he'll make anybody's prison wife. That's very bad to say. After all, he's still our babies. Even though the young man that got killed was still their babies. However, I just want people to know the guy he didn't even know he had stabbed him. And the guy didn't even know he was stabbed until he felt his chest once he had gotten off of the guy. Okay, so now you all need to look at the tape, listen to everything, and watch the appeal, because it's going to be one. It's going to be a great one.
Okay.
You know, because the mere fact that I think that we as color, we're our worst enemies. We go against each other at any point. I'm sad to know that happens, because you know what? My mother had 4 boys, but she told us as girls to look after our brothers. We made sure they was never disrespected in front of girls or a lady disrespect them. Okay. And we tried to make sure, and we did, make sure guys understood they're not in for a fight, and they never were. So, you know, we really didn't have to go through a lot. But this young kid...
Can I jump in and ask you a question, darling? Stay with me. I appreciate you. Are you from my generation, younger or older? I was born in 64.
I'm older.
Okay. We come from a time when, whether you lived in the inner city, the suburbs, projects, what have you, there was an understanding of parameters and, you know, how to conduct yourself when you were in a place that you may or may not be welcomed. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say.
Okay. I think that the young man, because he was a man, not a child, not a boy. Karmelo Anthony's a young man. He made a decision. He has to live with it. I'm not excusing the white boy, because you see, I grew up around white boys, white girls. I know how they get down, you know, very condescending, cynical, and passive aggressive. Do you find that anything that Karmelo Anthony should have done, could have done, would have gotten him out of this situation and ultimately land him in prison?
Well, I understand that they were sitting down on the bleachers at first down there before it was raining and it was going to be storming. So he ran, and remember, he ran to get out of the weather like everybody else did.
Understood.
However, he ended up under a tent, which showed prejudice, because they said, get out of here. One of them reached down and grabbed his bag. Mm-hmm. The other one decided that he would put his hands on it. Mm-hmm. Well, the boy that was the one that shoved him first. Okay. However, then the 2 brothers was going to double team him. But then there was 3 other boys, after they done pushed him down, dirt was in his hair, and they was proceeding to beat up on him. He jumped up to run after the boy had gotten stabbed. Listen, I'm telling you.
Darling, I need to see that video that you saw. I didn't see all that, respectfully.
3 other boys ran behind this kid as he was running. Okay. And he was excited and crying. However, nobody wants to tell that. And then, listen, everybody knew the case was rigged. You know, but lucky for him, he's going to get that appeal. And I'm guaranteeing you, he's going to get that appeal. Okay. However...
Can I jump in? I want you to take a breath. I don't want you to take a breath. I'm going to give you the last word. Can I ask you to speak to the younger generation who may not have the knowledge and the wisdom that you and I have about how to get out of a situation like the one that Karmelo and Austin were in? Please speak to the younger generation.
I would say to them, unfortunately, it's raining. And if you're not wanted there, then they shouldn't let you make a path to leave and not shove on you, not push you, but allow you to leave, regardless of the weather. Okay. Allow you to leave freely. Don't push you down, and don't revoke you. Because when you revoke a person, you have a right to
provoke, not revoke. Provoke, right? Respectfully, provoke.
But do not try to let them revoke you. Do not let them push you. But at the same token, I'm praying for this kid, and I'm hoping that this kid will not have to do any years, because there's too many lawyers around the United States has looked at this case. And they have decided it was unfair practice there.
Okay.
However, they now have decided some of them going to cloud together to try to get that appeal. And believe it or not, blacks are coming together, sending money in to help them get that appeal. And I am going to be one of them.
Okay. Darling, I have to take other calls. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
And you have yourself a great night.
Thank you now. Take care. I appreciate the call. Okay. All right. I like to let people speak. Hey, Eve, can you hold on 1 second? I'll be right there. Eve, stay with me.
Oh. Am I on?
Is this Eve?
This is Eve. What's up, Star?
Hey, stay there. I'll be right there. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Okay. I want to make sure I'm acknowledging you people who sent in your donations. Guys, one of my sponsors, www.gocreditwiz.com. Please go there. Also, in my community section, if you look at the drop-down menus where it says post, click on that. It'll take you to a petition with regards to South Carolina. The state, they are trying to revise and update laws so that victims, whether they were minors of sexual assault, incest, or anything, can file civil suits. They're trying to do what they did up in New York State. It's very important if you want to be a part of change. Again, in my community section, it's a very important petition. You will see the face of Jessica Reed. Jessica Reed does work, and she's a part of that particular process, if you will, okay? Eve, you are my last caller, area code 816. Are you there, Eve?
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Long time.
All right. How are
you know what, Star? I'm good. How are you with your fine self?
Oh, thank you. I'm good, darling. Talk to me.
Star, we gotta cut the short stuff short, okay? I'm so tired of these doggone pinto beans, cornbread, and green eating folks coming up here talking about what is right and what is wrong. Well, let's talk about what is wrong. We're going to talk about them country corn-fed folks from down there in Texas talking about the parents of that young man, Karmelo Anthony's parents. Let's talk about them. I don't think anybody really dug deep into that they had a over $625,000 crowdfunding donation that they received, as it was kicked down from GoFundMe, and they was able to raise such as much over in another crowdfunding, whatever one of those little sites is, right?
Give, Send, Go. They got over $600,000 for Give, Send, Go. Now, I think that money was stopped, if memory serves me correctly, and they did not give it to the parents. I could be wrong, but because of the conviction of Karmelo Anthony, they did not get the money. Someone please correct me in the live chat. Go ahead, Dolan.
Well, as of 2025, July of 2025, they were able to receive those funds, right? But what happened after that, from my recollection, is that they utilized a county representative. After all of that, because it became up to the tune of $800,000, and please, I stand to be corrected, but I do know that they did receive that, and it's public knowledge that they received those funds. On that website, okay? But at some point after 2025, it became up to 800,000, as it was 625 at the time in 2025, okay? And so my thing is this, what in the world happened to, hey, listen, at least that 600,000 that you guys had in 2025 to where you all even wanted to even look at a county representative. Now, I will go as deep as to say this. Perhaps you don't want me to say certain names on this, and I will not do that. But if you looked at other post-interviews, stated that the father also said, I wish I have never listened to such person
I did see that.
In regard to this matter.
I saw that.
You saw that? I saw that. You saw that. Okay. So with all that being said, this person right now is even trying to make things right after the fact. But after the fact is not good enough, because even with that, we still have to look at years-long uphill battles from there. that may not even be of any significance. It's just still people fighting for something that may not even be for this young man, even afterwards. So I'm going to go as far as to say, you, father and mother, failed your son. You had a responsibility. You had an obligation to your son. You had the people that was donating to you. Do you know what it's like to donate a tune of 600,000, even 100,000? Not even from a notable figure and stuff. So all of a sudden, we have people coming at the last end of this whole situation. Perhaps certain person can be able to, quote themselves or even try to credit themselves rather as being a catalyst. But you were the worst thing that can ever happen to this person. Such as they said, you were the worst thing that could ever happen to them, because you said, if you bank on this whole thing, then you're going to be good and all this matter. I could not have heard so much of it seemed like the Boondocks all over again, right?
Okay.
There's no way.
Wow.
It's just no way that you would even allow a troll to come over here and put the fate of your son in his hands. That young man doesn't have any control of anything that's going out. He's not outsourcing anything. He's relying on the resources that he has outside of there. Outside of there, meaning the mother and the father. And then you said you went on the whole road trip with a man, and because people are over here doing these things, I got to jump off the boat. But what? Makes no sense to me. So
I hate to cut you short, darling. I got to close it down. I've been here for 4 hours.
We're going to close it down.
I am exhausted. But thank you.
I love you,
Thank
Star.
you,
I love you, Star, baby.
Have a wonderful evening. Bye now.
You too, sweetie. Bye.
Bye now. Okay.